make somebody run around this church. Don't play them chords. Them chords gonna make somebody lose their mind. This is my season of grace and favor. This is my season to reap what I have sown.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Tyron Joe here, and I am excited to be here, and I want to be the first to welcome you to 2022 calendar year, and also Black History Month 2022. I just want to make a few quick announcements to be out of your way. One of our things for this year is be a friend and not a twin. We must seek to stop the matching of energies and to understand why things happen. Also, this year, what we're doing is having conversations with the clergy. You're not going to want to miss that. Many of you have expressed your concerns with the way the church, the modern day church, is being ran, and not just where it's being ran, but just understanding salvation. So therefore, I went on ahead and said what we're going to do is go ahead and have some clergymen, have preachers and pastors that may be able to offer any type of help to talk to us and to walk us through some of these things. So look for that throughout the whole year 2022. At any given moment, we'll have a preacher come on and interview with us. Also, February 14th this year, got a little something special for you. One woman, one man that's not a panelist, that's not a commentator of the show, but just maybe an individual that supports the show, individual that watched the show. We would like for you to hit our inbox here at on Instagram at BZNZ Talk and let us know that you would like to go on a date. And what we're going to do, we're going to have you come onto the show, interview with us. Also, we're going to have you go out on a date because we want you to come on the show to see if you're compatible, and then have you go out on a date and then come back and interview with us again and switch it up a little bit. I said at first I was going to pay for the date, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to contribute a nice amount to the date. That's what I'll do. Hopefully someone will take me up on that offer. Also, merch. Get you some merch. Just tell me your size and what color t-shirt you want, and we will get that to you. Just hit up my Instagram inbox, and we will take care of you. Leave you with this, and that is to do not reason with the season, but accept it and live in it. Peace be blessed. Peace be blessed.
They're not ready. I see you, Brian. You might as well come on down here and join the party.
Greetings. Thank you all for tuning in to the BZNZ Internet Talk Radio Show. We're so excited and happy to have you here tonight to be with us in our broadcast live stream. Just a few housekeeping chores before we get started and your gracious host comes online. Tonight, you are in one of the best places that you could ever be. And for that, you should just go ahead and give yourself a round of applause. Real quick, we'd like to give you a disclaimer. The show is not responsible for anything that is said on the show. There's your disclaimer. During the show, if you are vibing with us, you feeling what we're saying, and you would love to just give us a love token, where you're going to see at the bottom of the screen is going to say Cash App Tyron Joe, $ Tyron Joe, TYRENJO. Anything that you can give would be greatly appreciated. A one, a two, or a few. We greatly appreciate it. Also, if you would like to be a sponsor of the program, please go to our Instagram page at BZNZ Talk. At BZNZ Talk, our Instagram page. Also, you can go to our Facebook page at BZNZ Talk, at BZNZ Talk, and we will be glad to work with you. And also, a quick reminder, throughout the show, I want to let you know that the likes are free, the dislikes are free, the love button is free, the share button is free, and the subscribe button is free. 5 things while you're viewing this broadcast. 5 things while you're learning and growing. 5 things that is for free, and we would love for you to partake in that during the program. Last but not least, once again, we want to thank you all for tuning in to our program, our broadcast, our live stream, because you are the ones that run the show. Thank you all. Peace. Be blessed.
We gon' talk about it. We gon' talk about it. We gon' talk about it. Situationships and relations. Tyron Joe the host, start the conversation. Too much we gotta learn. 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 DZNZ, Internet Talk Radio. We gon' talk about it. We gon' talk about it. We gon' talk about it. Situationships and relations. Tyron Joe the host, start the conversation. Too much we gotta learn. Too much we gotta learn. Too much we gotta
You are now tuned into BZNZ Internet Talk Radio, where the relationship talk is the conversation that never sleeps and the payoff is never cheap.
No, we had to do that again.
Too
much we gotta learn.
Too much we gotta learn. Too much we gotta learn. Too much we gotta learn. BZNZ.
Yeah.
BZNZ.
Yeah.
Internet Talk Radio. We gon' talk about it. We gon' talk about it. Situationship and relations. Tyron Joe the host. Start the conversation. Too much we gotta learn. Too much we gotta learn. Too much we gotta
Man, oh man. Okay. Cool. I'll see you, David. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the BZNZ Internet Talk Radio Show, where I am your gracious host indeed, Tyron Joe. We have a great show planned for you tonight.
Probably about 10 minutes. We're gonna do preliminaries, and then after that, we're gonna bring on our guest. Special guest tonight is Professor David Kalonji Walton Sr. He didn't send me a bio, so I got to go to gonna have to go to Facebook. Let me see. We're going to go to Facebook, and we're gonna say something. Let me see. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna say a little bit as much as I can see on Facebook. We're gonna do that. But thank you all for tuning in tonight. Just a few announcements must talk about things that we must discuss. Let me see. It's trying to. I don't know. Internet boy in the hotel is janky than a mug. All right. It won't act funny. We'll do the best we can with what we got. Okay, see. All right, let's see what's going on now. Okay. All right, okay. Looking good, looking good, looking decent. It's kind of lagging a little bit. I don't know what's wrong with it. Let's see what happens when I do this. This is part of technology 101, y'all. They've been wanting me to do a video anyway about how I do what I do as far as the cameras and sound and stuff, and I'm gonna do that. I am going to do that. Let's see. That's working pretty cool. Working pretty cool. All right. Well, yeah, that don't want to act right. We're gonna take it off. There we go. Took it off. Hopefully the internet will work better now. All right. So tonight you are in for a treat. We're going to be speaking about the state of Black America, and I do know that Professor David, he is director of Global Black Studies at Western Carolina, and he sent me a whole bunch of stuff that he teach that he has spoke on. Oh, okay. I see. I got. Hold on. He sent me something in the inbox. Oh, watch out there now. Got it. Got a little something to read now. Okay. Well, before we do, we want to speak on something real quick. And I know one of them, he said he speak on the Black woman. So when he come on, if he want to give his 2 cents, he is more than welcome to. But man, let me see if I can find it. Oh, okay. We want to speak on something just real quick. We want to speak on submission real quick. I don't know if anybody watching, but it's gonna be recorded, so you can watch. If you can watch, right, whenever you get time. But we want to speak on submission real quick because I've been getting a whole bunch of trolls. That's right, just blatant trolls coming with the so-called heat and insults and stuff like that, saying your boy is off his rocker, saying your boy is just, pathetic. They said your boy, he is an incel. They said he is a cult follower of Kevin Samuels. A cult follower of Kevin Samuels is what they said. I got much love and respect for Kevin Samuels because I am enjoying what he is doing. I am enjoying his time here in the world, trying to bring back healthy relationships. But for some reason, when we get on the topic of talking about relationships, people seem to get upset. They seem to have this knee-jerk reaction as if you have said something to offend, as if you have said something to damage who they are, when yet and still you are speaking to heal and to correct what is going on. This is Black History Month. We're talking about unity, talking about being one, being togetherness. Earlier, I posted up earlier a video clip, really yesterday, a video clip on my profile of a young lady letting people know that she was going live, and she said that the subject was going to be how to love a Black man. Many people watched it, but some had adverse reactions to it. That's cool. That's fine. But at the end of the day, you the emotions, we really have to get rid of the emotions and really figure out and wonder what is going on and what is being said. Remember, I just said in my opening video, one of our themes for this year is going to be a friend and not a twin, because it's so much matching of energies within our society. So how can we really love each other when we too busy trying to match each other's energy? That's why I spoke about it and said, that's why I'm saying the definition of submission is to freely submit your will to fulfill the will of another. Ladies, when you get involved with that man and you know that this man really got your back, this man is really there for you, I'm telling you, you're gonna freely give it to him. Whatever it is he wants, whatever it is he need, it's gonna come freely. It's not gonna be forced. It's not gonna be threatened. And I think that's the problem. People are so, I'm telling you, you say that word submission and people get out of they mind and think you get ready to attack. So I don't have a picture of what my post was about earlier today, but it was minus the degrees and jobs. What is it that you bring to the table? Because too many times we talk, when we talk about what do we bring to the marketplace, it's always the same old, where I got this degree, I got that degree. But specifically speaking to the ladies, a lot of women, talking to the young women that's still at the age of childbearing, women that's at the age of childbearing, a lot of women, still want to have kids and want to, stay at home. So here's the question: is your degree really bringing something to the table? You go 5, 6, 7 years to get these type of professional degrees, and then you say, "Yes, I want to be married." Then you get married. You get married, and then but you also, well, I got these babies now. I don't really want to work. So how good was that degree? Some women, they get married, had a baby, they never go return to the degree. So that's why we had to take that off of the table. Or you say, well, I got this job right here. I'm making bukus of dollars. Fine and dandy. But then again, you got your husband. You got your husband that's making so much money. He's taking care of bills and all that. And all he asks you to do is stay at home with the kids. So again, you got to take jobs off the table. What is it that you bring to the table? And I think that, some great answers were, okay, great answers where, I mean, no one really said this, but, I bring my femininity to the table. That's great. That's great. That's what men love. We love that in a woman. We love all all that about a woman. We love. Or I bring, understanding. I bring openness. I bring positivity to the table. Don't say love. I don't want to hear nothing about no love. But you saying I bring this to the table, that's letting me know that you're coming to the table with an appetite for success. You're coming to the table ready. Come on now. Don't come telling me I'm coming with the table. Come on, don't tell me that. You're coming ready and you open and willing to receive. Think about it. When you was a kid and you sat at your mama's table and she was frying that fried chicken and that apple pie, didn't you come with an appetite? Come on. Didn't you come with an appetite? Well, I'm gonna say, look, you know what? I'm gonna end there right there because I don't want to be too long. I'll probably come back with a little bit more, but you know what? Without further ado, we like to go ahead and get started with our guest tonight. We're gonna read the bio. Professor David Walton, a native of Romulus, Michigan. David M. Walton earned a dual PhD in history and African American and African studies from Michigan State University in the summer of 2017. He also earned an MA in world history and a graduate certificate in African American studies from Eastern Michigan University. Dr. Walton is an active member of the National Council of Black Studies, the Association for the Study of African American Life and History, and Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. All right, now, so ladies and gentlemen, let me get this ready real quick. I got to get this button ready for him. Got to get it ready for him. But this Black History Month, y'all. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let us receive Professor David Kalonji Walton Sr.
Good evening, greetings, everyone. Thank you for having me, Lord.
Man, glad to have you, brother. So, let me ask you. You said you speak about the Black woman. Was I spot on with anything I said, or
well, you were talking about something that's a little bit outside of my wheelhouse, and that's relationships in that regard. But I would like to say, though, related to what you were discussing, is at the same token that we ask, what are the women, or ask a woman, what are you bringing to the table? We have to look at within ourselves and ask ourselves, honestly, what do we bring to the table? Because part of, and speaking on Kevin Samuels, and he's my fraternity brother.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. He is one. Okay.
Yeah, but speaking on Kevin Samuels, one of the ironies of it all is, for the fellas, I think the fellas are missing part of his message. And part of his message is to the fellas, is that, hey, if you want to be able to have this type of authority and in your relationship, this type of demeanor, this type of power, for lack of a better way to put it, then you have to be bringing certain things to the table and have to be able to provide certain resources. So we got a lot of brothers running around talking about they high value men based upon Brother Samuel's definition, but they're not high value men based upon his definition, right? Right.
No,
so
not at all.
Right. So if we're being real about that, right, going back to submission, right?
Right.
A lot of brothers want women to submit just for the sake of submission. Allow them to have authority, be in a position of power. But submit to what? Right?
No, I ain't with that.
You got what I'm saying? So brothers gotta, check themselves. I see it a lot with a lot of brothers struggling economically, struggling with incarceration, recidivism. I'm still in contact with brothers I grew up with that are dealing with those types of issues. And they are the main ones that's talking about women need to submit, right? And that's, power and control is where they coming from, because the woman is paying the bills and they're not working or can't find a job. So they want to assert some type of power to address their feeling of emasculation, or how they've contributed to their own emasculation by poor decisions in youth and young adulthood. So, the most interesting thing I take from Kevin Samuels' dialogues are, he's really, when it boils down to it, is telling most of us, the average person, that we need to be looking to one another and starting families with one another. The man, you got brothers thinking they high value men, looking to be able to have the type of women and the type of relationship a high value man has, right? But they're not high value men. You have these women with these unrealistic goals to get a high value man, but a high value man is going to look, based upon Kevin Samuels' definition, not mine. They're going, they're looking past them, those women. So those women and those brothers need to get with one another and build families. I mean, how can you expect to have the power relationship Kevin Samuels describes when he talks about high value men, right? A high value man, of course, he doesn't care nothing about a woman's degrees. He makes enough money where he's covering all the bills. He don't need her to work. So that eliminates that as bringing something to the table for a person like that, right? But come on, the average brother, they gonna need their woman to work. You got
Okay.
what I'm saying?
I mean, I'm getting you. For the most part, I agree. I do agree that. And the thing is, they get upset because they think they say that I stay on the women all the time. Like, no, there are days. I'm like Kevin Samuel. There are days where my message is directly to the man. And most definitely, you can't be broke as hell talking about you want a woman to do this. No, that's not gonna happen. You gotta be, as a man, you gotta be on top of your game. You gotta be if that's what you want. So I agree with that. But as far as with the the degrees and everything, I believe they, okay, even if we get married, okay, you got those degrees, but if we get married and we having children, I'm old school traditional. I don't really like too many. I wouldn't really want too many people around my kids like that. So therefore, I would love to have the mother stay at home with the kids for a while. Now we in the age that you can have a job, work from home with your laptop computer. If she want to do that, that'd be great. But for the most part, until they can start going to school, I want them to be around moms, and then when I'm off, I take care of them. You know what I'm saying? So that's my thing about that.
Yeah, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that, and I don't think that's an outrageous request or approach. To be honest, that's what many of us want because we feel that's most healthiest environment for the children, right? And we don't want outsiders basically, quote unquote, raising our children.
Right.
The ethos of the daycare becomes the ethos of the child. We want
Kids
the
getting
ethos
killed and stuff at daycare.
yeah, we want the ethos of the home to become the ethos of the child, right? The ethos of the family. Oh, totally, 100%, right? But in that case, I don't think it's the issue of degree or not degree, because if she returns to the workforce, say in 7 years, right? After the first two kids, if y'all had two kids and they 2 years apart, when the youngest kid first enters full school all day, first grade, we'll say, right? So after about 7, 8 years, if she has a degree, depending on what the degree is, it may help her more easily return to the workforce, type of job that she wants, that is amicable to the type of lifestyle, hours, all of those things. The problem is when a woman thinks that her obtaining that degree means something romantically, right? That means something. It's just a practical decision, right? If she never gets a man, then that's the way she take care of herself. If she marries a wealthy man, then hey, then she has this skill that she doesn't necessarily need to use to make a living, right? If she marries a working class man, then through this skill is how she can help contribute to the family in a way that her and her mate deem appropriate, right? And that's the same for men, right? I mean, I have all these degrees, but it's people without any degrees, men who make boatloads and boatloads more money than I do.
Most definitely.
Right. So the same applies for men. So I think it's this lack of self-respect that we've suffered in our community. I call it respect deprivation. So we look for these external things to find self-respect. And it goes to the way our community treat college students and college graduates. It goes back to that, right? We treat them as if they're honorary prince and princesses. We treat them as if they've already achieved something by simply enrolling at the university, right? Oh, he go to college. She go to college. Pat him on the back. Right? So I think that factors in to a lot of these women, right? And then let's be real, a lot of women that are having challenges finding the type of mates that they want, right? So they're trying to boost their self-esteem. Why can't I find a man like I want? I have these degrees, I have these accomplishments, right? But this young lady with none of these accomplishments are are able to attract. These young ladies are able to attract the type of man that I want, but can't attract, right? And see what they don't realize, it has nothing to do with them. That's all about the men there. It's
Mhm.
all about the men, what those men are looking for. And I think people aren't being honest. And this is no way I don't think could be twisted into body shaming or misogyny or any of that. We are physically attracted to who we physically attracted to.
Facts.
It's real. I don't like big women. It's just real simple. I don't like I don't like the type of body shape that is popular amongst y'all young brothers right now. All that ginormous fake booty, that big old booty and all that. I don't like that.
No, I don't like fake booty. I like
I
real.
don't even like real booty that's big as those fake booties. That's just not what I'm attracted to. My ex-wife, the two women I had children with, and the three women in all my life that I've truly been in love with, they all have a track runner, a sprinter's body, and they were all track sprinters.
Real skinny, but firm and solid. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yes,
I know a couple like
that's what I'm personally attracted
Mhm.
to. That doesn't mean that the next person needs to be, or any of that. That's just me, right?
Right.
So, I mean, so I don't care how many degrees a woman has. I'm not going to marry her if I'm not physically attracted to her,
But
right?
I was gonna ask you though, like as far as that, like and this might be, I might know the answer because you are a professor, but like when you meet a woman and she talk about I got this degree, that degree, does they kind of make you happy or whatever? Because me personally, even when I was in college and I was talking to girls, they talking about what they working on. That never really did interest me. What interests me was okay, all right, we get together. What you gonna do for me? You know what I'm saying? How we gonna make this what we trying to be? How we gonna make this work? I never was interested. Oh, she studying this, studying that. You know how some people get excited. Oh my God, he's getting ready to be a doctor. You know.
Well, it depends. Generally speaking, it depends on what they got their degree in. I may say, "Oh, that's intriguing." We may have a lot of interesting conversations. That's one thing that I need out of my woman, right? Is I need someone to have certain types of dialogue with, right? And it helps, and it kind of mitigates the power dynamic of me teaching this woman where we can engage in dialogue, and she can help me and compliment me in that way, right? So that in that context, in another context, for example, my son's mother. When I got with her, uh, she wasn't a student, but I got her into the university when her and I when she told me she was pregnant. And we're not together. She's married to another man now, and all of that. My son is about to be 17, but I got her in school, and I got her into education, and she became a school teacher. Right. So if I met a woman, if I was still interested in kids, I'm not interested in having any more kids. I have two kids.
Mhm.
I would be excited if she said she was an education major. You know why? Because my son's mother is able to do things that help my son with his education, and he gets straight A's and has always gotten straight A's because of the work him and I, him and his mother does, but primarily his mother, who worked in the school district that he attends. When he's in school, she's in school. When he's out of school, she's out of school, right? So it dovetails to some of the things that you, in fact, were mentioning about not wanting the state or whatever to raise your kid through school or all that. You want the mother to be a major contributor of that in the guiding force, and then having the skills to actually help the child with their educational development. So I would say for me it would depend on the major, right? Uh, but I'm in a different position than other men, though. I'm not looking to have any more kids.
Mhm.
So I'm not necessarily looking for the same types of things that maybe
Right.
a man who's looking to start a family and have kids. I've already screwed that up, for lack of a better way to put it, meaning that me and my ex-wife are divorced. We have a daughter, and me and my son's mother, we didn't, make a family in that way. So I've blown that, and I'll be 47 years old. I don't see myself trying to have a kid, and I'll be 70 when my kid graduates high school. So I don't see having another kid as practical to me. But I make a decent amount of money, right? So I have a particular lifestyle. So I would want a young lady to be in my life that accommodates what I'm doing, right? And part of that is having things that maybe a younger man wouldn't value in a woman, but I would at my age. And maybe some things that you younger men might value in a woman, I don't value, and vice versa, right? So we gotta take that into consideration as well. But yes, a man who says, "Hey," a man who makes $200,000 a year, and he wants to start a family, and he wants a stay-at-home mother, right, and housewife, and he wants her to manage the home, look after the kids, right? Her having a degree in astrophysics isn't going to matter to him at all. But perhaps if she has a degree in nutrition, he will value that because that can be applied to help the family.
Yeah.
A degree in education, it could be applied to help the family. So I don't think Kevin Samuels discusses that enough, right? And
I'm gonna tell you what Kevin Samuels said one time.
Yes.
He and I think I had posed that question, that nobody say nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I said, would you quit your full-time job to work part-time for your husband? Nobody answered. And Kevin asked that question. He was like that. Yeah, that right there is the kick. He said, if you get a woman that'll say she'll quit her full-time job to work part-time for you.
But see, my trouble is kind of the way that it gets framed. So if she's quitting her full-time job to work part-time job, is she doing it for you, or is she doing it for the family? So perhaps the way it's being framed is going to turn some people off. Because are we viewing the family in a particular light as a unit, as a partnership, right? Or is it just
definitely we all together,
right? So and so maybe talking with the lady and explaining it to her from that framework of, you're not doing this for me, you're doing this for us and our children or our future yet to be born children, right?
So you saying say family instead of saying me. Why we can't say me as the man? Because I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you one model that a lot of people they shoot down. But I mean, for real, it amazes me how they do it. Pimps and hoes. A pimp, he would tell a hoe in a minute how he want things done and all that.
That's not a good model for a relationship. Their relationship. Okay. No, the reason being is their relationship is based upon exploitation.
Well, okay.
It is. No,
I mean, I'm saying, I know what you're saying, but I wasn't trying to get on that part. I was just trying to get on the part of how he can talk to this woman that he don't know, and she fulfill his dream for him. Well, okay, all right, can't use.
But you can't separate it. Part of the pimp, and then you got to look at the cult aspect of pimping.
Okay.
You got to really look at pimping if you're going to use it as a model.
I done watched documentaries and stuff like that, but yeah.
But what do they use? They don't.
Up in the hood, kind of knew a few of them. Yeah.
So what do? They break them down.
Oh yeah, they do. They break them down. Is
that what you want to do with your woman? You want to break?
Not like that's why I never not like a pimp does. But it was just I was always amazed at how the pimp could get that woman to really do what he wanted her to do. But yeah, as a kid, I understood. I was like, nah, I ain't really trying to do what he doing to him. Like, cause I don't lay my hands on no woman. I don't do that. So I'm like, nah, wait. All those just that little bit of dynamic. But I see what you said. We can't separate it. But yeah, just that little dynamic.
I mean, to be honest, you can. Then you're going to end up not with the type of woman that you want. You're going to end up with the women that will be susceptible to a pimp.
Well, no, I'm not. No, I ain't gonna break her down, but I certainly want to build her up mentally. Most definitely, I definitely want to build her up.
Pimps don't want to do that. Pimps, they tell you they don't want to empower their women, right? They need to manipulate and control. It's a great line.
That is their main thing. Yep.
Yeah, it's a great line from the movie. and my frat brother Max Julian. Maxwell Banks was his real name.
Oh yeah, and American Pimp.
No, the movie The Mac.
Oh, the Mac. Yep.
The Mac.
Watch that
Right?
one too.
Max Julian is what most people, or Goldie the pimp. Goldie was
Goldie. Yeah, Goldie.
the Goldie wasn't him. And I get frustrated when people act like they
Everybody called him Goldie.
yeah, but his name was
Called him Goldie.
Maxwell Banks, or Max Julian was his stage name. But anyway, it's a great line in this movie, The Mac. And what does he say? You know, oh, yeah, I keep my hoes looking good, nice clothes, but no dough. She's
Yep.
she's susceptible to lose her mind.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't want to empower. The pimp doesn't want to empower. What you will want to do is empower your woman, right?
Most definitely.
Because she's going to be the mother of your children. She's going to be really the steward of your empire, of your kingdom, your home. So you don't want, I mean, you going to basically be setting your daughters up to end up jacked up because they're going to learn from their mother. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be real careful.
I'm gonna make sure all mine strong. They're gonna be strong all
Indeed.
day.
All right, but just as we say that a woman can't be the model for a boy to learn manhood, the father won't be the model for a girl to learn womanhood. They can have all the physical possessions needed and nice home, nice food, and they had all these great experiences that you provided, right? Just like a single mother does with her son all the time. In many cases, they spoil them. They overdo it. They spoil them. They can't teach them. They can't model for them how to.
Oh
be
no. Most definitely. I'm not. No.
This is you won't be able to do that for your daughter. It
No.
won't be your wife.
Yeah,
So
right.
if
And I got to start with my wife,
exactly.
so to get down to her. Yeah, get down to
and that you will model for your
Mhm.
daughter, right? Because that's what it'll be, and you will be the model of the type of man that your daughter selects.
Most definitely.
Right? That's how it's supposed to go. That's how it's designed. That's like us. That ain't us being deep and making up nothing new. But that's how it's supposed to be, right? And that's what they talk about in the Quran. That's what they talk about in the Bible and all that. And in both of those books, when they talk about the man is the leader of the house and those things, right? And the family should look to the father as the father looks to the heavenly father, looks to the Lord, right? That's what scripture, Abrahamic faith teaches, right? But all that is predicated on the man being a man and doing what he needs to do and having the right outlook, worldview, and moral ethics. See, everybody wants the submission from a woman. Everybody interested in polygamy and all of these things, but they're not interested in actually being the man that they're supposed to be. And that's the disconnect, and that's the frustration for me, right? Of the brothers I interact with through social media, day-to-day life, just going through life and end up having these conversations with, is that, right? I see it. I see a man my age living.
Don't want to work.
Exactly. They come up with all the excuses. I don't want to work. I don't want to work for the white man. Blah blah blah. So what? They live in their mama's basement.
Yeah, and I got that in my family too. So that's why when I get started with the men, you know, I get say thank yous. Now I don't get death threats with the women, but with the men, I get men talking about they gonna pull up on me all this because I'm saying stuff that need to be said.
Yes, and you're exposing them and you're exposing their game.
Oh yeah.
That's why they're really lashing out to you, because you're exposing them, and it's hidden because they haven't done that honest self-evaluation and self-reflection. That brother should be less concerned about finding a woman to submit to him and more concerned about getting himself together. So a real woman would be like, that man is a leader. I want him to lead me and do what you suggested and willingly submit to him.
Facts. Let me I want to move on and get to some of the topics you said that you cover in your classes. One of them is Black Radical Thought. Just tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, awesome. So my approach and what I research and teach, and my publications are coming out shortly, so publish is on the Black Radical tradition, Black Radical Thought. basically circa 1890 to about 1980. So we're talking about the real black radicals, not the reformists. So, for example, people that were trying to reform America, to convince white people to be nicer to black people. What, what that moral crusade of the civil rights movement to reform white people, to rehabilitate white people, I don't focus on that. I focus on the black radical thought, the folks that was focused on changing the hearts and minds of black people, elevating the hearts and minds of black people, looking for independent institutions, looking for self-determination, as opposed to looking for reforming. So people like Martin Delaney, people like Marcus Garvey, Hubert Harrison, Chandler Owen, Valentine Briggs, right? We're talking about like the African Blood Brotherhood, the UNI movement, even to a certain degree, the Nation of Islam early days with that black radical thought in regards to theology. It was very radical that God was black and the white man is the devil. That was very radical in 1930. Now y'all say it all the time on the internet. It doesn't even matter, right? To the point where it doesn't even mean anything, right? But it meant something in 1930.
Oh, most definitely.
Yes, and black anti-capitalists. So those black radicals leading all the way up until the Black Panther Party, self-defense, the Revolutionary Action Movement, and these black radical movements of the 60s and 70s. So that's what I research and publish, and then I do teach classes on that. In fact, last semester I taught the history of black U.S. Marxism, or black Marxism in the USA, right? Because people talk about, oh, you're a communist, this and that, but they don't ever study what those black people actually said and did. They just falling for whatever, right? And I'm not saying, because I'm not a communist, I'm a non-Marxist. Structural analysis is what I use.
Is Marxism, is that what Democrats, is that what they call the Democrats? Because I heard somebody say something about Marxism was Democrat or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's the type of stuff I have to fight against. That's that.
Yeah, I'm not a political junkie. That's my boy, Mr. D. I don't know. He probably watching, but yeah, he a political junkie.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you told me that, so I say it in a way where I'm not offending folks. But that's that barely informed, never read anything about the black people from the black people. They're just going from a list of talking points. The Democratic Party in the USA is not Marxist. You might got one or two or three that have some Marxist outlook, but the party is not. They are uber capitalists. They're super capitalists, just like the Republicans. Right? That's just the game that the white people are playing amongst themselves, that we jump in without knowing what we're talking about. The Republicans call them communists, and the Democrats call the Republicans racist. That's the game that they play. And then you got Negroes that run with it thinking they on to something, but they've never read what the people actually say, what the people actually did or do, to be quite honest with you. And they're just going off talking points. Bernie Sanders is the only real Marxist in the Senate, in Congress, Senator Bernie Sanders, and he's not a member of the Democratic Party.
Yeah, he's a member of the independent party, right?
He's not even a party. He's just an independent.
Oh, okay.
He's not a member of neither of the two parties that we're presented with. AOC is a member of the Democratic Party, but in real life, if she didn't run for that office, she would be, this is not the Democratic Party, but she will be what they call a Democratic Socialist. Those are socialists, and they are Marxists. But the Democratic Party are not Marxists, are not communists. Barack Obama was not communist. He was an uber capitalist. That's why him and Michelle got so rich since they done left the White House. They're uber capitalists, right? The Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton, they're uber capitalists. Nancy Pelosi, uber capitalists, right? It doesn't matter, Brother Williams, that one of the founders of the BLM organization admitted that they were Marxists. That's just one organization, and that's not the Democratic Party, what we were saying. But that's just in the people that stand outside with signs. If my students or my community have a protest tomorrow and they hold up signs that say BLM, they ain't got nothing to do with that organization or those women who founded it or none of that. It's a slogan.
So what is a Marxist? The true definition.
Someone who is trained in Marxist Leninist thought, and they apply that thought to economic analysis.
Oh, okay.
So now you feel what I'm saying? So now it get deep.
I'm gonna tell you, I never really been deep off into this politics
What's
stuff.
a Christian? I'll frame it to you this day. What's a Christian? Someone that reads the Bible and applies the Bible.
Right.
What's a Muslim? Someone who reads the Quran and applies the Quran.
Okay.
What's a Marxist? Someone that reads Marx and applies Marx.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. For years, I'm gonna say after Barack Obama, after he got out of office, really midway before he got out of office, I just really was done with the whole political system. Wasn't even interested in voting no more. None of that. I just wasn't in it. And then I get preached to by a whole bunch of people. Your ancestors, they died for your right. And I'm like, man, I just don't want to do this no more. I don't even like none of the candidates that's up there. So,
Well, most of the people who say that are only thinking about the presidential elections.
Yeah, they were.
Well, I'm talking to you. You just said that's how you feel.
Yeah, because I actually do vote for the local. I do vote for the local.
So then you got to stop framing it that way, that as them other people, and frame it in your way and be clear. I am not interested in presidential elections, but I'm very interested in local politics.
I vote. I went on ahead and voted. I never missed one. I still did it. I just didn't want to. But people had preached to me so much that I went on ahead and did it. But I was like, man, I don't want to do this.
Indeed. Well, the locals, you got to. That's if you think that
I do that. Yeah.
In the the school system and the curriculum is jacked up, you literally vote for the school board, right? In most small towns or smaller towns, not big metropolises, you vote for the judges. You vote for the prosecutors or the DAs, depending on what language. So if you think that they're racist policing, they're racist or uneven with their administering of justice, and all, you can literally vote those people out, right? And that's and that's the danger when we saw. So now this young man, Anthony, he's just going to start quoting all of the right wing, far white nationalist Christian propaganda about the Marxists, right? They amended their demonic beliefs, whatever the heck that means. See, that's the challenge, though. And no disrespect to Mr. Williams, but if I ask him, has he ever read Karl Marx, he's going to tell me no, right? It has the reason why they affiliated Marxism with Luciferianism, which whatever the heck that means, but with being anti-Christian, is because Marx and Marxists are generally, Karl Marx was, and Marxists are generally atheists, right? Being atheist is different than worshiping Lucifer, right? I mean, this stuff is so nuanced, and it's not this simple way that we approach the conversations, and that's why we get nowhere. And basically, we just end up coming off as a bunch of fools, arguing with each other about stuff that isn't going to change or impact our communities, right? I mean, so if the Marxists are Luciferian, then what the hell are the capitalists who will sell your mama, who sold us for money? Then what is the capitalist? What are the capitalists? They are got to be equally as demonic and Luciferian. And capitalism,
they are so-called black folks speaking. I have read his crap actually.
All right.
He gonna be up here. He's one of my commentators. He'll be up here at some point. He'll be on. I guess you guys can speak it out. But
Well, I'm not a Marxist, so I'm not going to defend Marxism. To be honest,
oh, okay.
I'm not a Marxist. That's why I
I
stay.
saw that group that he named BLM. I'm not a fan of that group, so I just let him talk about them. I don't say nothing about them.
Yeah, well, there's criticism. My criticism with the BLM organization is nothing on their platform that addresses Black fathers.
Right.
That's my problem.
Masculinity, nothing on there addresses masculinity. Then the lady that so-called was head of it, I seen some article the other day talking about she took the money and did something with the money, bought a mansion or something with it. There was some article I read. I'm like, I'm not part of that. I'm not really.
Yeah, it's an organization. She gets her salary. The board establishes the salary, and with her salary, she bought a house. That's what happened. I know the way people present it, the money, but I mean, it's an organization. She's an employee of the organization. She's the CEO. The CEO gets a paycheck. The CEO of Facebook gets a paycheck. CEO of the NAACP gets a paycheck. The pastor of your church gets a paycheck, right? So that's with that. But I mean, what the hell can a Black Lives Matter political organization do about our understanding and our development and articulation of Black masculinity, though? We're looking to the wrong people to do the things that we expect. To be honest, Black Lives Matter. I don't know where it's turning into, but it was really designed to address police killings of unarmed Black people.
Well, I'm thing is, I know someone that actually went to one of their meetings, and it was
Mm-hmm.
a woman. It was a woman, and she was talking about how she said she felt so disgusted sitting in that meeting because she said that what they had officers in there, not like officers of the group.
Yeah.
That was men, and the men whenever when they say they wanted to hear questions and dialogue, she said they mainly would say, I only want women to speak. But there was tons of men in this room as well that was like, well, hey, can I speak? Soon as the man started talking about, hey, let me speak, let me say this, they said the men that was officers get rowdy and quiet the whole room now, tell the men they can't talk.
And
And
that could be true. I've I've heard, and it's not nothing I don't think that they've even tried to hide, that it's the organization is a Marxist organization and it's a feminist organization, right? So those, and that's right. And my issue is it can be that type of organization. That's fine. I have no problem with it. If I'm not into that, I won't join. It's really that simple. And it should be that simple for everyone. My issue is, but it's the death primarily of Black men that they've used to grow their movement or as the movement.
right.
So that's the problem of silencing men and the issues that are addressing Black men in your platform, but you built your platform in response to the murders of Black men. And that's problematic. And I agree with you 110%. That's one of the reasons I'm not a fan of the organization.
Right.
But just saying, bashing them is straw man game, though. To be honest, that's straw man shit, man. I'm gonna keep it real. That's some OA.
Bashing you said bashing the group?
I mean, as opposed to focusing in on what we want to see as Black men and organizing amongst ourselves and addressing the issues that we feel that they are not. Right? They still do. Yes. And the Black churchmen still in the plight, the NAACP, the Nation of Islam, they all getting paid off the misery of Black people. And we could go on and on and on and on and talk for 30 hours every day about how we don't like them groups. And ain't nothing gonna change.
But that's not what we do here on this show. We don't even, I don't even bring them groups up. I just, personal beliefs. If we talking amongst ourselves, I'm like, no, I'm not with none of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I'm for building up people self. I'm for self. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what that black radical thought is. So it's the principles of it. So self-determination, independent institution building. So he says, men, we should speak for themselves, right? Black radical thought and black power teaches then that we are supposed to then create those groups of black men and do that talk.
Kevin Samuels.
Well, that's for romance, but I'm saying on some saving our community shit.
Thing is, I gotta say this. I believe that if we can get our relationships together, we can save our community.
It is one of the key things. That might be one of the first things we need to do.
Because think about the feminists. Back in the 60s, you already know when the women wanted to get welfare, they said you couldn't have a nigga in the home.
Okay.
So I believe that was breaking up the black family.
That's one of the structures that broke up poor families. And many of those poor families were black and brown.
Black, right.
Right. Because we talk about some things as if it's a black pathology, which is wrong and problematic. 72% of black children are born out of wedlock. 69% of white children are born out of wedlock. Mm-hmm. Is that 3% really that much of a difference to say it's a black problem? No. But that's how we buy into it, though, right? So, yes, with the welfare reform, first wave, actually, it was under Nixon. So it would have been the early 70s, right? The very early 70s. Mm-hmm. Got popular culture movies like Claudine with Diane Carroll and James Earl Jones that talks about this issue, yes. And then that was the Republicans, for those who want to bash the Democrats. The Republicans did that. And then Ronald Reagan came along with further restrictions that further contributed to men having to leave the homes and other adults for the single mother to receive that, what we used to call AFDC, welfare, aid for dependent children, aid for families and dependent children, right? And Ronald Reagan further, and then he created this myth of the welfare queen and presented as a black woman, when white women have always been the vast majority of those who receive welfare to this day. And then the Democrat, Bill Clinton, came along and put the nail in the coffin. So this isn't a Republican, Democrat, all that other stuff is truly just straw man that's gotten us debating irrelevant stuff. But what's part of the problem? Now in 2022, this is where we at. You don't have to be, you could be on welfare and be married with your wife and live in a home and y'all can get y'all benefits. This ain't 1994 anymore, right? They broke up the families, right? We go with that. Welfare was one way they did it. Mass incarceration is another way it contributed to it. Drug use is another way it contributed to it. I agree with all that. But what we gonna do about it?
I got some stats for you too. Hold on, let me pull these stats up, because my point is that you said what we gonna do about it, right? That's why I say thanks and shout out to Kevin Samuels, because he has a platform with over 1 million people on IG and YouTube where he is, talking about, relationships, where he has testimonials with people with women. A lot of women said that, starting out listening to Kevin Samuels, I couldn't stand him, but after a while I gave it a try, and now 6 months later I found my husband.
Indeed. And
this is pretty much, this is what our platform is about, is bringing healthy relationships together, so they, no matter the struggle, we still gonna be together. Like in slavery days, they still was together. They still was married. The slaves were still married and still had unity. Like I said on Tuesday, they were singing songs to plan their way of escape, like wade in the water, swing low, swing chair. That was unity amongst them. Strong unity.
Yeah, but being
In
realistic, part of
2022, I don't
it
think we have it though.
they couldn't leave.
Say it again.
The part of it is because they had no choice. They
I mean,
couldn't leave.
but they had tons, or they had a lot of revolts. You know,
Oh, indeed, I teach it.
Gabriel
I know.
Prosser,
Although it was only two that was successful.
Nat Turner, who was successful.
He wasn't successful. The Amistad slave ship was the one that was successful in the Haitian Revolution. Then were the only two.
Okay, the only two. Okay.
No,
Yeah, I know Nat Turner wasn't successful. I know Nat wasn't.
Yeah, Gabriel Prosser in Virginia as well. The Stono Rebellion. I mean,
Mhm.
but they revolted, and there was many ways. And yes, point taken. Yes, despite the lowest point, we still had love.
Still had it.
Yes, and people loved one another, and people helped one another and stuck by one another. Yes, that is certainly true, and we still have it. Part of the problem is, and you've identified it, is the children and the way the children is raised and the environment that the children are raised in. Right.
Facts.
Right, and that's it. And Kevin Samuels definitely is bringing light to people. And from my perspective, of just telling people that, ladies, you're not gonna get a Kobe Bryant. You need to go ahead and realize that.
It's your average man.
And get the average man, because y'all, these ladies say they want the men that make six figures. And then he gives them the numbers of how it's only like maybe 15% of black men that make six figures or more. So y'all can't, it's just impractical that all these women. And why would a young man, a younger man, or even a man that's my age looking to start a family who's making six figures, you know, so I'll say myself, because I'm near that. Why would I want to marry a woman who I'm not physically attracted to, who already has multiple kids, and doesn't want to listen to my instruction and follow my lead? It just doesn't make any practical sense.
None at all.
It's basic common sense, right? And they don't get it because they're delusional. And it's terrible because then they're raising more delusional people. But we got these delusional dudes too. They're equally as problematic and contributing to the problem, right? Because they think they high value men. And it's like, bro, you don't got no money. You don't own nothing. It's like, bro, like you need to work on that. And that's what Kevin Samuels tells y'all, right? Y'all need to be working on getting the bag and stop chasing these girls. Get the bag. And then you pick. You ain't got to chase.
Facts.
And they miss that. That's the part they miss. So I know a lot of people. I watch Kevin Samuels. I don't watch him as faithfully as maybe others, but I do watch him. I like the clips when I could watch it in maybe a half-hour clip and not like the 3-hour whole thing.
Yeah, that's what I do, because I don't have time sometimes to watch the whole show. I had to wait till the weekend. Yeah.
Indeed. And I tell my friends, I mean, he's made me reevaluate myself just simply because I'm a professor with degrees, that I'm supposed to be desirable for these women. It doesn't matter how I present myself, right? It does, and that's what he consults the men. That's how we started, and that's what people don't see, because he doesn't do that part on live. You got to pay for that, and it's private groups.
Mm-hmm.
But he consults on image, how to dress, how to present yourself, because many of us don't have fathers or didn't have fathers. We don't know how. We don't know what's good cologne, bad cologne. Mm-hmm. We don't know how to dress and present ourselves in a certain way. The types of things that we would look and be like, man, that's a put together man. That's a suave man. I want to be like him. We see it. We recognize when we see it, but we don't see it that often.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But we recognize it when we see it, right? So that's the type of things that Kevin Samuels has helped me with, being a divorcee and getting back into the dating game after being married and not divorced, right? It's, I had to evaluate myself, and Kevin Samuels gives a good jump off point for me to do that in regards to my desirability to women, the type of women I want, right? And we have an advantage. Money.
Most definitely.
I don't have to be the finest brother to find my dream woman if I got money. But for that woman to find her dream man, if it's about money, then she gonna have to be in shape, and all she's gonna have to be extremely feminine, unless that particular man likes more masculine women.
But you know what the thing is, though. Even when I talk about that, they say I'm wrong for saying that I can't post up talking about how I want a feminine woman, how I want a woman that is that enjoys being a woman. People think I'm speaking a foreign language if I say something like that. I'm like, man, what's wrong with a woman being a woman? I'm gonna tell you, when I was in college, I went to IU. I know you're
Miami
familiar with
University?
IU.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I went there. So when I was in college, man, sometimes while I'm sitting in the classroom while the professor's up teaching, I'll just be looking at some of the women in the class. They be taking their hair down and putting a little ponytail in. I just be looking at it. I'm like, man, that's just so feminine. I like that in a woman. But some people say, you're doing too much. I'm like, how am I doing too much? I'm just femininity.
Yeah. Well, I tell you this. That's what you like. Don't
Yes,
let
sir.
them shame you or get in your brain. And it doesn't sound like you that type of young man that allow that to happen, to make you feel bad for what you like. That's what you like. The part about it is so many of these sisters, because of the absence of fathers in their home, some of your
Right.
sisters have had to become more masculine for sheer survival. And then those attributes that become important attributes and characteristics in their personality, and then they teach their children those characteristics. So that's why you're talking a foreign language to them, because you really are. They can't understand. For many of them, they probably is like, what do you even mean by feminine or femininity? Right.
Right.
Right. They may not even understand what you're trying to communicate. And that
Mhm.
could be their fault. It could be you not being clear enough. But that's definitely one of the key issues with that, right? Uh I, right, you know,
I
I
breaks
had
I breaks it down for them though. I makes it plain and clear, and I think that's what it is. When I break it down, they don't like it. I'm like, I like a woman that that enjoys combing her hair, enjoys going to the beauty shop, or enjoy doing her own hair. I like a woman that that's gonna let the man open the door.
Mhm.
you know. And I say I don't like no woman talking about I'm a strong black woman. I'm like that when I hear I'm a strong black woman, that's turn off for me. I'm like, because if you strong, you ain't even gotta say it.
Mhm. Mhm.
But they get upset with that though.
Mhm. Yeah, and it's, well, of course, because they're not there with it. That's why they get upset. They're not there with it. Just like if you tell the brother, if a sister says, "No, I need a real man," he gonna get upset because he's gonna take it as an insult, right? As opposed to understanding what she means and asking her, and then she says it. Well, this is what I mean by a real man. From my understanding, he takes care of himself. He protects himself. He takes care of those he loves and protects those he loves, right? And then that young man whose feelings is hurt when she further explains it, right? Because he's realizing he's not a real man according to her definition. He's living off a Section 8 lady and her food stamps and her kids, or he's living off his mama, or he's living off his grandmama or auntie, right? He can't take care of himself. He needs her, the woman, to help him with money. He
Mhm.
needs her car so he could drive around, drop her off at work, right? You get what I'm
Oh,
saying?
yeah, I hate that mess right there.
Yeah, so it's gonna hurt. And that women, when you say to that woman, hey, I don't like, that's a turnoff when I hear I'm a strong black woman. because they don't understand at all what you mean. You know what I'm saying? Because you see it for what it is. That's a hurt woman.
Right, right.
She's right. You know, she doesn't feel that she doesn't value a partnership, right? Because she don't need no one to have a partnership with. She's a strong, right? But you know, and some men we get in that bag too. I'm a strong man, but we all need,
Oh, I don't know why a man
right?
is that. Yeah.
Right. What is degradation? The
Well,
issue.
no, she said that she said the issue is degradation of women when they may not agree.
Mhm.
And I'm just trying to figure out like what she mean. I mean, when
Mhm.
they don't agree, I'm just putting out there what it is that I desire. And not only that, it's like when I'm watching, you know, different programs, not just Kevin Samuels, it's a whole bunch of teachers out there that's teaching the same message that Kevin is teaching. And when I'm watching them, they saying the same thing, talking about, you know, I don't want no woman that, you know, voice deeper. Well, I ain't gonna say voice deeper than mine, but you know what I'm saying, a woman that just got this overload of testosterone. You know, just
I'm a heterosexual male. I don't want to date no manly woman.
right.
I mean, right? I don't want. We know it when we see it. We might not be able to describe it, but we know that's not what I want when we see it, right? You know, and it's things like I don't want a woman that smokes blunts, smokes blacks. I don't care.
All day, yeah.
I don't care if I smoke 30 blunts. I don't want a woman that smokes blunts, smokes blacks, playing a video game. I don't know. Some of y'all guys out there want the woman to play Call of Duty with you. I don't want that. That's not feminine to me. But another guy might like it, right?
Right.
But yeah, but I think maybe what the sister is saying is when a woman disagrees with us, when we say, "Hey, I want a feminine woman," and she doesn't understand or she's not the feminine that we want, that we can't degrade them when they don't agree. And I agree, we just move them out the way and keep moving in that romantic encounter. But as people,
But I don't know what she be mean. Okay, I don't know what they mean about we degrading them. I mean, thing is,
Kevin Samuels can get to a little bit of that.
a lot of stuff that Kevin Samuel say, they know I don't say that on my podcast. I ain't even said that on my page, on my Facebook page. They know I don't say that. I hear what some stuff Kevin say, but that's not what happens over here. I'm talking about how they talk about me. I'm like, man, you won't believe so many women got my name in their mouth. It is ridiculous, man. I mean, it just cracked me up. Like, man, I mean, I must be saying something to reach their mind.
Do you ever get any positive feedback?
I do. I do. I got a young lady. She always sharing my lives. She share my posts, and she be telling people, she like, I don't know what y'all doing. She said, but on Thursday nights, this podcast is busting. I say, man, I love that. I appreciate the love, most definitely.
Yeah, so I would focus on them and uplift them, and don't even let those that's hating on you take up a lot of your brain matter or your energy. Because I mean, some people never gonna get it. They hated on Malcolm X, Mark. They
Right.
hate on Jesus, bro.
Most definitely.
You know,
Most
so you
definitely.
gonna always, and there's gonna be people that are what I call willfully ignorant. They're gonna
Facts.
go out their way to remain ignorant. They're gonna refuse to enlighten and grow.
Let
You
me
know,
let me get your opinion on this. It's some they don't really want to, some that might have known you from, you know, other your other life or whatever things that you did in the past, and now they just can't accept the fact that you are a changed man. You see what I'm saying? And so every time now you say something encouraging or enlightening, they got to bring up your past and say, well, I know you. I know who you used to be. And I'm like, key word, used to be.
in
That's
fact,
not him no more.
yeah, that's endemic of me and my friends. Uh, we were talking about that the other day, in fact, and we grew up together, middle school, high school, even went to university together. Uh, and we were talking, and the thing is people don't know about growth, right? If you was the same person that you was then, too bad for you, right?
Mhm.
Because you would. How is it possible to be the same person unless you are just truly committed to and being unwilling to not grow, right? Being unwilling to grow and committed to not growing, right? I'm certainly not the same person I was when I was 20, not the same person I was at 25. I'm not the same person I was at 32. I'm not the same person I was when I had my son, nor when I got married, and none of that. I grew. I've had experiences that's further shaped me, further developed me. I've had issues that I've worked through, right? I grew, right? So people who do that to you, Lord Tyron, they just hating. And those are the type of people you don't want in your life.
Oh, most definitely.
They don't, right? Because I mean, when I was 18, I was doing a lot of bad things. I'm not that person. And then for someone to say, well, oh, you're a professor now. I remember when you used to gang bang. I know you. And then I'll be like, yeah, blocked. Because you don't know me. Because if you know me, you wouldn't put my name and gang banging in the same sentence in 2022. In 1992, yes. You don't know me.
They still bringing up that old stuff.
Because they haven't grown.
Mm-hmm.
And they get mad because you have.
That's the crazy part. I'm like, man, come on, man. I don't want to stay like who I was. I had somebody earlier today talk about how they knew me back when I was getting ready to move from one apartment to another. Said I was in a state of confusion and all this, didn't know where I was gonna make my next move and all that. I'm like, yeah, of course. But I'm like, that was about 7-8 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not there no more. All right, let's see what the young lady said. We're gonna get some co-hosts to pop in. She said, you degrade women when they can't express their opinions freely, or they are ashamed when they might have thoughts and opinions that are different.
Now, is she talking about when they express themselves on your show?
You gonna make me bring that. You gonna make me send you the link, Namia. I'm gonna move everybody out of the way, and I'm gonna send you the link so we can talk together. It'll be just me and you. She said, I degrade women when they can't express their opinions freely. What is she talking about? Can't express freely. Every woman that has ever came on my podcast have said whatever it was they wanted to say. I didn't mute them or anything like that. I let them get it off their chest on my Facebook page. I tell women, I let women say what they say. And then thing is, what it is, professor, is that they don't like sometimes the way they come at me, because some of these women have called me the B word. And so sometimes I might return the energy back, and I won't even say the B word, but I might still return the energy back, and they might not like that. But yeah, I've had women say, oh, this is some
I think you hit on something. It's getting late for me. So I want to say this real quick.
Oh, okay.
And I want you to actually get Sister Cooper Miller on it for y'all to have that dialogue. And by the time I get home, I can watch y'all, and the discussion.
How much time you get? Because I got somebody, got one of the co-hosts up here, one of my comments.
I'll give y'all about 10 more minutes after I say.
All right, we bring Dwayne in. Dwayne ready. I've been waiting. I was waiting for him to get in. Him and D. I was waiting for.
But let me say this though, and then I'm sure Dwayne want to engage with me or bounce something off or whatnot. Is you hit on something key. See, it's acceptable to degrade the black man. They play games with us.
Yes.
They question our masculinity. They play games with us. They like to call us bitches.
Yes, sir.
Boys and all. They deliberately and then see, that's the game that they play. That's that masculine energy that they have, because that's how I would expect a man to come at me when we about to fight.
Right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? That's that masculine energy. They trying to, I'm more of a man than you. I'm more bigger than you. That's what they mean when they say that to you and when they use that language. And she said, no, we don't do that. Well,
man, let me drop that link. I'm about to drop that link. Don't even worry. I'm about to drop the link.
That's a lie right there. That's a lie right there.
She not being
They
She
would
not
say
being
black
genuine.
man ain't
No,
shit.
she's not being genuine
They'll say black man ain't shit, throw them all in the trash in the
all
heart.
the damn
I
time.
see one of them posts every day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I
And
dropped the link for.
I
And
appreciate you for saying
she can share this link with whoever. Bring them
yes.
all. Bring all of them.
I appreciate you for saying that, Professor Walton, because that's one of the things I know you don't have a lot of time, and I'm glad that you're here with us. I'm not going. I want you to speak because I love what you said about the energy. I've already talked to Lord Tyron about that. That when you one of the most offensive things in this life is going to be when you figure out how to be yourself unapologetically. Oh, it's going to draw everybody from all kind of places. Like I tell them all the time, because I'm a father of sons and daughters. One of the things that is very comical to me that I sit my sons down and tell them, they be all emotional about this, that, the other. Daddy, the girls in our room, because their mindset is they got easy bake oven in their room, they got the dolls in their room, they got the kitchen set that daddy built for them in their room, but you keep running to brother room to play with the Avengers and to play with the blocks and to be an irritant to them. And I have to explain to my sons, this is going to be always from teenager all the way to where daddy at right now. They're going to want to be in your room. And the quicker you understand that, by first understanding yourself as a man, understanding manhood, now you can be standing 10 toes down with who you are and applying, what I'm saying, those different lessons to life and understanding, the process of how the woman is. Now, obviously, there's a lot of ways, not all, but most, there's a lot of ways that that a lot of the typical women the ways they act, and then that's what's supposed to make you understand that diamond in the rough that you actually looking for, those needles in the haystack, that's who you go for. You don't make it easy on yourself by just frivolously having your seed. You got to protect your seed. Everybody not worth your seed. You're gonna understand when a lot of these women get your seed, that's the quicker they're gonna be like, forget you, because I can raise children how I want to raise them. I don't think like you anyway. I just acted like I did in the beginning to get what I wanted. And that's where Kevin Samuels, a different thing, come in. Look, people crack me up when they call you Kevin Samuels, follow this, that, other, because you talk a certain way. Look, Kevin be quick to say, men have always spoken. That's why he's talking about those men. If it was me who got the spotlight first, or if it was Lord Ty who got the spotlight, or if it was a David Walton who got the spotlight first, then they'd be calling you a Walton follower, or King Dwayne Anthony follower, or Tyron Joe follower. It's just that Kevin got the spotlight. We've been talking like this though. So
I
just
mean,
stop it.
definitely. Men have the barbershops, those of us who've had men in our families, who stayed active in our families. Yes, we've been having these discussions. My father hasn't said many things that are different than Kevin Samuels, and the things that he said different is basically saying, everybody isn't going to be rich. So let's be realistic about when we're
Right.
thinking about relationships and all that. So outside
Mhm.
of that, right? No, indeed. But see, what do they do with Kevin Samuels? If they didn't just accuse them of being homosexual. And the reason why I say accused him is because he's not. Right?
Absolutely.
So they'll
Absolutely.
accuse him of that. They're trying to degrade him and belittle him, emasculate him, right?
Right.
They'll show a picture, and Kevin is older than I am. They'll show him a picture with a Jerry curl. Man, Ice Cube had a Jerry curl. Michael Jordan
Mm-hmm.
had a Jerry curl. I mean, what? They question his masculinity and
Mm-hmm.
sexuality to belittle him, right?
Yes, sir.
And
Yes, sir.
so that's consistent, right? So they're playing that same masculine energy. That's what the games we play with each other,
Mm-hmm.
right? When we try to belittle and degrade each other, we can't talk about. So we say things that question the other brother's masculinity. You broke ass N word, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? We trying to question their masculinity, right? Back when before people realized how harmful it was, though we accuse a brother of being gay or use homophobic language
Mm-hmm.
to belittle. That's that masculine energy that those women, so they bringing it to Kevin Samuels.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I mean, it's so bad now. I mean, you know, the sisters out here jumping on the fellas, bro.
Yes, sir.
Straight up.
Yes,
Nobody's
sir.
talking about that. If we talking about domestic violence,
Yes, sir.
these sisters out here jumping on these boys, bro.
And that's the real issue. That's the real issue, Professor. I talk about it a lot, even on my channel.
Mm-hmm.
Even when I comment, even when I decide to comment on Lord Ties, Facebook or whatever, I continue to expose that little sister, big brother type of dynamic, where it's like they want to come into our spaces. We're having these conversations, and you'll see people like the person that was just on here. Oh, I may be married and I may represent my husband, but I that don't mean I can't be free to talk how I need and go wherever I want to go. No, you're being bamboozled by the rabbit hole. That's what you're being. You're Alice in Wonderland right now, because at the end of the day, this fake little world, when you think you can, if we take it all away, it goes back to just what you said, Professor. It's like a man standing toe to toe to you, crossing that line, and we're not talking. We swinging.
Mm-hmm.
We swinging.
Mm-hmm.
We're not gonna go back and forth. Real men ain't gonna and do all this,
No, we don't do
ostrich
that.
stuff.
We
We're
all
not.
that talking.
So when you a
What we
woman,
gonna do? We gonna end the relationship.
Yep, absolutely, and we're gonna end the conversation. We're gonna come at you with the energy to silence it real quick, because look, you represent a husband. For us that understand what that really is, we really want you to skedaddle, because we don't need no misunderstandings whatsoever.
Indeed.
But your opinion matters. Your opinion only matters to him, honestly. I don't have to care nothing about your opinion.
She in the building.
And we live in this world where this American dream has got these women think, because they have competition with these white men at work, that they can take it any place. Now, real men gonna hold you accountable for what you're saying and doing. It's it's that simple. And we're not
Professor
afraid,
Walton.
no matter if you want to call us gay or whatever. We're not afraid to attack what you're talking about, because right now you can't beat us, you can't throw hands with us. So now you want to be the irritating little sister, because that's the only other way to nag them. That's the next level. I can't beat them, let me nag them, let me irritate them, let me act a fool. Your mouth or nothing you can say can get us together if we know ourselves. Ain't no I'm gonna get him together. No, you ain't. You threatening your mouth.
Me, I'm not even going to be. I'm going to end that relationship sooner than later.
Right.
I'm not even going to let it. I'm going to be like, yeah, this ain't what I'm looking for, and I'm going to end the relationship, because that ain't living for me. I can't live like that, right?
Absolutely.
But some people.
I was going to ask you, Professor, if you wanted to speak to her. She in the building right now. Before we get ready to get this smoke, if you want to speak to her, if not, we can handle it after you.
I don't know if she was mad at me.
No, she mad at me. But before we get ready to handle it, though, I was gonna let you talk to her, but she gonna get this smoke.
And ain't no representing nothing.
I do want to briefly say this to her. So if you was gonna bring her on, I'll say this to her before I go. Greetings, my sister. How are you?
I am well. How are you, Professor?
I'm very well. I just encourage you to consider, because you don't do some of the things that these gentlemen are discussing. Don't take it as if that means it doesn't happen, because I don't put my hands on women. I don't disrespect women. Mm-hmm. I don't even want to be in a relationship with a woman that I can disrespect, because that's not the type of woman that I want, that will allow herself to be treated in a certain way, because she's supposed to be a reflection of me. And that, you know what I'm saying? But if you talking about when the brothers be down bad and do sisters down bad, I'm not gonna jump on and be like, but I don't, because that's problematic. That's silencing you or devaluing your experience.
Yes.
So on the opposite end, I see a lot of sisters doing that with us brothers, and if we're being honest, this is a renaissance of black men actually getting together and talking about these things in the open.
You know what, Professor Watson, and first of all, I want to say I thank you I respect you for the views and the thoughts that you have shared. And then I want to say to Lord Tyron, sweetheart, I'm not mad at you. There's nothing that you could say or do or any conversation that we have had that would have ever made me upset or mad with you, because we have a longer history at that.
Right,
Of
absolutely.
that. So that is not my perspective at all. I think what Tyron has faced, and then there are differences of opinions with this, is that the perception is that anytime us as women, doesn't matter if we're black women, single women, whatever, we have a difference of opinion because we have different perspectives. Because men are from Mars, women are for Venus, right? So we have different experiences and different challenges. However, as black men, as black women, the thing that we often don't understand is we've been victimized by the same system. If we want to get down to the root of it, we've just been victimized in different ways.
And we
And so
victimize one another as well.
we victimize one another. And I know Tyron personally. So
Do you?
I know you on a level longer than probably the two of these together have known.
I grew up with Ty, literally.
So I know you differently. And so this is not a bash of Tyron or anything. I didn't come on to do that. That's not what this is about. But what I'm saying is that at some point we have to start listening to each other's perspective. And when we cannot listen, when we cannot understand that there are diversity in perspectives, then that becomes a problem. And Tyron, and you, as long as you've known me, you've never known me to bash a man, especially a black man. I've never done any of that kind. I've been very strongly opinionated. And I've expressed this before. My husband, when he married me, he knew what kind of woman that he was marrying. And I'm so thankful and so grateful that I'm in a marriage that allows me to be who I am freely, but also I know my place in that marriage. But as far as women, yes, I'm very strongly opinionated when it comes to women and black women and our issues and the things that we face and the things that we go through, and our perspectives and what we feel. Because I'm a woman, that's my experience. That's my experience as a black woman. I know black woman-ish. So that's the perspective that we're going to give. And so you cannot bash or degrade or devalue or minimize our experience, especially when you take the stance that you don't want us to minimize your experience. That's all I'm saying. Is we come with a perspective too. We've been victimized by the same system. It just may be a little different from the way that black men have been victimized. And I understand the victimization of black men and what they've gone through and what they've experienced. And there is a segment of black women out here that feeds into the black men ain't this and black men ain't that. But that's not all of our experience. And when you start to lump us in the same boat and you're unable to hear and you're unable to listen to even our perspective, that's when the degradation comes in, my brother. That's all I've been saying.
I could hear it in your voice that you should feel a little hurt that the brothers been dogging us.
Absolutely. I'm a woman. I'm a black woman.
I can hear it in your voice. But I'll say this. I'll say this though. You have achieved something that a lot of these sisters aren't going to achieve. You found your life partner who has accepted you for who you are. Right. And I assume then that you have accepted him for who he is.
Yes. And I love every inch of my husband.
And you've indicated that you all have discussed roles in the relationship and you are comfortable with the role that he wants you to serve. And he's serving the role that you desire from him, right? That's something precious, right? So you have a different perspective than a lot of the sisters. So you don't view so in many ways, the sisters are using you to try to win the argument, and you're saying things that they don't believe.
I get that. I get that. I get that when I talk about submission. I get that when I talk about respect and reverence and honor for your husband. And it may not look like how anybody on this platform feels that it should look like. But
You actually use my definition of submission in your live that you did last
about
week.
submission,
You use my definition. I watched the live. I said,
because
she used my definition.
there's a set definition for submission. And I get that. I get that a lot of women, and I even said that in my live, that there are a lot of women that's going to think that what I feel and what I say is archaic, and it's not for the modern women, but there is an order of things. But the thing that also that we understand, that does not take away our voice, that does not take away our opinion, that does not mean that my husband won't respect and value what I say. It just means that there's an order of things, and I have to respect him in that order of things, because he's the head of my household. He's the head of this marriage.
You think these brothers are presenting something that reflects that their women isn't going to have a voice?
I think there has been some things that has been presented that maybe has come off to women who they are trying to teach, who they are trying to reach, that has not come off in a way that
we need examples.
Has been receivable. So, and let me say this. So a lot of times the thought is that women are emotional. We're emotion. We think with emotion, and men think with logic. That doesn't mean that women can't think with logic. That just means we operate differently. Our brains, our hearts, our minds, our spirits, we operate from a different perspective. And so, do I need to be degraded because I operate with a woman's spirit, with a woman's heart? Do I need to be degraded because my experience and my perspective is different? No, absolutely not. You just need, if you want me to understand your perspective and where you come from, you also have to be able to understand another perspective.
Why do you think we don't understand other perspectives?
Because when someone disagrees, the first thing that happens is insults.
Oh, you mean like just coming onto page saying XYZ, trying to steal Lord Tyron's platform? Because that's what happens. And I don't like sitting back watching my brother go through that, because my brother's himself. That's the biggest threat that any individual in this world could have, is being themselves unapologetically. My brother's being himself. And then you come in, others come in, and now it encourages other people to come in and don't even really know this man like this. And this man is himself, point blank. Because one thing that I believe men understand, and Professor Walton talked about it earlier, is that we understand how the real world works. I literally just put up a funny little spoof the other day when it was -7 degrees and I was out there doing my job, providing for my children. And I said, I put up a meme where a woman said, I want to break one day, and I want this and I want that. I want to be the father. I said, you know what? Well, I'm out here in -7 degrees right now. Come on, be the father. Come be the father. Because I do this, and it's nothing for me, because I love my babies. I know that they're my legacy. To not have a father there or a mother there in my life, and my grandparents step up for me, I understand that my children are my harvest. And the best thing I could have ever done was sow those seeds. They're my harvest now. When we're over here talking about things that are serious, yes, Lord Ty gonna be comical, he gonna be sarcastic, he say some things, but that's his platform. And I think that when we come into the world and we have this entitlement, it's not no deal that a woman's emotional. Please be emotional. But you have logic too.
Right. I don't
But
have a
there's
problem
things
with a
that
woman
could be
being
So
emotional.
here's
said.
the thing. If we're
There's things
allowed to be emotional because you understand that aspect of us as women,
That's part of the
when
femininity.
when we
Let-
come and we offer our opinion, our perspective, our experience, you can automatically just downgrade it or
no,
degrade
but
it
see that
Oh,
or
see,
buck
that's the
against it
thing. No,
or
that's
now
the
that's
thing.
what that's going
hey,
to what
let
I'm
me
sorry.
let me
Okay,
finish
all right,
talking.
That
Let me
you
finish talking. I allowed you
all right,
guys
we're
to
gonna be
talk.
respectful one at
you
a
actually
time.
just cut off my thought. You
No.
actually just cut off my thought
So
to what I was going to say.
Hold on, hold on, hold on.
when
We're
we
gonna
give
do
our
one at a time.
perspective, so Tyron has an open platform. Nothing on his platform says that women can't come and give their perspective. Married women can't come and give, because if you talk about submission, that's a married woman's perspective all day long. I could talk about that all day long. How I had to learn in marriage. Nikki, shut your mouth. I can talk about that all day long. How I had to learn after having a strong, very strong, independent Black mother who raised her girls by herself and created us to be very strong. I can tell you all day long what it means to come into a marriage and have to adjust your thought and your perspective of what it means to be a married woman and how you have to do away with that strong Black woman mantra. I could tell you about that all day long. So that's not just a single woman's perspective. Submission is a married woman's perspective. That's a
Well, I mean,
married
that's the
woman's
perspective.
topic.
Y'all the only
But
ones that truly got that perspective.
Yes,
What you
I
talking
can tell
about?
you all day long what it feels like
Yeah,
to
they just
enter into a marriage and have your husband, your man, the man that you done took his last name to say this is the final say and that's it. After you've come from years of doing your own thing, following your own path, you ain't got no kids, you can do what you want, you got these degrees. I can tell you all day long what that feels like. But when you devalue us as women, as if we don't have a say, we don't have opinion, we can't even as married women, and you can say all day long, married women can't talk to single men. I don't have that kind of marriage where my husband is threatened by that.
so you have no
My
order.
husband knows she is Namia. My husband knows her voice podcast, and my husband knows what he married into, and he's not threatened by that. We have a very strong, loving, godly marriage.
Now,
But you
see, can I just say something? I'm sorry, brother King Dwayne. But so you see how someone can run and take it a whole nother way, and this whole thing could go left and turn into a whole nother conversation based upon just how you use the phrase, my husband is not threatened. Because now the assumption is that the other guy that may have that perspective, his manhood has just been questioned. I'm not saying that was your intention, but that's how we end up in these talking at instead of with one another scenarios, right? Because you said it twice, and the first time you said it, I felt like I could see that stinging somebody. Then you said it the second time, I was like, "Oh, that definitely would sting somebody," right? Because then now they'd be like, "Oh, I'm not threatened. That's just how blah blah blah." And they might be religious or they might be a Hebrew Israelite. Blah blah blah. However it goes, and it's gonna be a whole totally different conversation. Uh, and I'm just pointing out. I could have pointed out with someone else. So that's why we got to also be careful with our word choice.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's see the thing. This is the danger, and this is the thing that I continue to expose. We all have platforms with different things, and one thing about me, I expose the rabbit hole. If I'm in a relationship, it don't even have to be marriage. There's a certain way I'm going to respect that woman. If let's just say a great scenario, I'm at home with my lady, we enjoying our version of Netflix and chill, whatever you want to call it. We got some quality time, and I happened to turn to my phone just for a moment, and now I'm engrossed in something because I got pulled in emotionally, because men have emotions too. Everybody has emotions.
Absolutely.
When you find yourself pulled in that way, and this is where the spiritual comes in, because God, I'm gonna tell you, that self-governing spirit he put in us. Oh, if you got a conscience, you know, and I know this is true because people make memes about it now. I made all this posts, and then God told me take it back, and they give you a demonstration because you hear that voice telling you where you should back off or where you hear all that. My thing is, if I have a relationship and my opinion is to her, everything I do matters to her, and vice versa. I don't have that energy for a space where I could never control a Namia, where I could never control a Ty, where I could never control a David. I'm not gonna allow myself to get sucked in that deep to the point where you was cooking breakfast, and now I notice, hey, Namia, something changed. What happened? And you can't even really tell the man the truth, like, because you went in on that brother. And now you got to be real or lie because you engage energy, and this is men or women. This is where the metaverse gonna get really serious for people in the near
I gotta
future.
go. All right, 1 second.
All right, bro. We appreciate you coming out. I'll
Thank you,
catch up with you
Mr.
later
Walton.
on.
All right, thank you all.
Appreciate you, brother.
All right.
Peace.
Yeah. So my thing is just, I don't have no issue with a platform being open and a dialogue, because most times Ty will say things. He gonna throw his jokes. That's his humor. All of us have humor or how we deliver things, and then he'll open that platform. But when you come in off the gate, off the rip, and this man's
right.
Are you talking about me or some other woman?
You
Tyron, come on, keep it real. You have never seen me come off the gate.
This what I was trying to say earlier.
I need you to go back and read my comments and what I have said to you. The things that I have had disagreements with you about, I've never come out the gate and just said some I'm cooking breakfast. I done got off. Track. That's not me. That has not been me. And so what you guys have to understand is you can't lump all women in the same basket. Just because if your experience is your experience, if you don't want us to lump all Black men and all men in the same category, you cannot do that to women. You can't do that to us. You don't want us to do it to you. Don't do it to us.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you a little bit.
There's diversity in experiences. There's a diversity in perspectives. There's diversity in opinions. And my whole issue, Tyron, if you look back over our history of conversation, and we've been knowing each other a long, long time.
I'm looking right now.
Yeah, I'm either going to have an opinion about scripture because that's my world. That's what I come from.
All of us.
Okay, we all came.
And that's my background. I'm a church girl.
I'm
a woman of the word, and I talk the word of God. So that's the perspective I'm going to come from. And if it's something that's just so off balance as it relates to women, you have to be able to see all angles. If you guys want us to do that with you, you have to be able to do that with us.
I like the comment by Ebony down. It says it's a lot of women that aren't submissive.
It is. And I agree with that. I've never disagreed with that perspective.
And that was what was going to be my statement. See, this is the secret and this is what happens when you just jump in. When me or Ty, and we do this stuff on purpose. When me and Ty address women, we talking about the ones that are lower level. We ain't talking about, if you say you on point, it's self-explanatory. It's just like when you say you're a woman of the word. There's so many areas where the Mashiach made it clear. The Christ made it clear who he was talking about. And if you were not, and there's even word that makes it clear that the law don't necessarily pertain to the saints because you're going to follow the law. It's self-explanatory. It shouldn't even be for you because you know you're going to follow it. But when you're addressing women, you're addressing men, we're talking about the ones that ain't on point. Now, if you jump in there with your opinion, it's like you just jumped in there. Oh man, I went in too deep because you didn't understand the underlying situation. So thank you for saying, oh, don't lump it all. And we ain't all, because we ain't even talking all. We know who we're talking about. We say women, but we also know that the ones we know enough to pay attention and study and know the ones that's triggered or try to pretend that there's no feminism in them or whatever. They gonna spark up when they hear certain words and certain things, no matter if it ain't them or not. Oh, it's the woman in me. It's the voice in me. No. Stop that, because that's for your man or that's for your father, and that's where the issue comes in. Because there still has to be order with the thing.
And in that being the issue, you need to be able to decipher between the woman that has an issue with that and the woman that does not have an issue with that. And I think from my perspective, what I have seen, and this is just my perspective, there is this tendency to lump all women who have opposing views or a different interpretation or
Where
a
did you
different
get that
opinion from my interaction, bro. From my interaction.
Okay, keep
We
going.
can't be reading
Because I don't know what interaction she's talking about.
If I come on a post and I say I disagree and XYZ blah 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 blah, there is immediate
right. The blah 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 need to be defined.
Right, and I always do that. I'm a very detailed.
Talk about that.
I'm about to read something.
I'm about to read something you wrote.
Please read one.
Read something you
wrote. What did I say?
Because she missing a lot.
This is as far as the post I made on Monday about John chapter 4. I want to read this whole paragraph.
This is the thing. I was serious about that because I've studied.
You came in and tried to shade tree. You tried to shade tree what I'd already laid out.
No. I'm gonna stop you right there. I did not try to shade tree. Here's the thing. I've studied my ministry. When I was first called to ministry, my ministry was based on the woman at the well. My pastor can tell you all day long. When I came to him and said, I feel like I've been called to ministry, and he tested me out and all that. What sparked the ministry in me was John chapter 4. And so I have studied John chapter 4 and the woman at the well with extensive.
She wrote a huge paragraph talking about.
So you can tell what I said because I don't back down and I ain't afraid of what I said.
John 4 is being used to try and define gender roles.
It is, and it's not about gender roles. That chapter is not about gender roles.
But you know what, Ty? And that's why she keeps jumping in, because later on down the line, she says something about it being minimal about gender roles, but negate all that.
So that means she still went back and took my.
No, you guys are misinterpreting my word. I never said it was.
He was just about to read it. He was just about to
read it. What I said is he sparked in her purpose. That's a difference from saying that this chapter was about gender roles. It was not about gender roles.
Look at all these mugs.
Jesus didn't come to her and say, "Hey, I'm the man. I'm giving."
Nobody.
It was never about gender roles.
That's extreme.
It had a whole layer of different purposes, but it was never about gender roles. What it was about freeing her from what she thought was her sense of satisfaction and her sense of purpose, which was tied up into all these marriages with 5 different husbands, and the husband that she was with, the man that she was with, was not her own.
And what made her married to them, Namia? Since this your area.
That was not the focus. The focus was what defined her.
But that's what we was getting on. We was getting on her being married to these men, and what Jesus was saying, that if I give you this water right here, you ain't gonna thirst for no more men. That's not men like that.
Well, Jesus wasn't getting ready to have no sex with us. So how did we get into sex and consummation and sex and sex, and you don't need a piece of paper to marry? How do we get into that when that was not even the premise of Jesus' experience with this woman, the Samaritan woman?
The Christ clearly asked her. You think he just was being goofy or something?
No, he asked her intentionally.
He asked her about her husband.
He wanted to know intentionally, and he wanted to know intentionally because he was putting a mirror to the face of her situation. Like, look, you done been here with this man and that man and that man, and you ain't got no sense of satisfaction. And here I am offering you the living water, sister, something that will offer you eternal life, something that will offer you something that you don't even have to turn to this marriage and that marriage and this man and that man to get a sense of satisfaction. Okay. I'm offering you something that you will not get from human man, eternal life.
Okay, so clearly what you have to say means more than everybody else had to say on this topic. Because when it comes down to it, he also let her know it was also foreshadowing and it was prophetic. The scriptures is geographic, it's historical, and it's part spiritual, and it's part prophetic. That's what the Bible is. It's a prophecy. Even when you go back to the beginning, and he let the serpent know that the seed of Eve would bruise it, would you gonna bruise his heel, but he gonna bruise your head. That was prophetic to the cross, to the dying of the cross. And in the same situation with the lady at the well, he had a prophetic moment when he let her know, for all these people that want to tally up all these bodies, sex is consummation, it's marriage. That's why there was so many areas in the Bible, even when Abraham sent for his daughter-in-law. The second she got back to Isaac, the scriptures say he took his wife. It didn't say he had no ceremony or nothing, because sex was marriage. That's why he had to make it clear to her what she was doing.
But that was
But you
not
wanted to
what the
negate all
topic
of that.
was about. And if
You
that
wanted
was
to
what the
negate.
topic
No,
was about, then that's what the
Lord
post should
Todd's
have
topic was clear
shown.
on that.
Okay,
It was
wait.
clearly
You
jumped in.
cannot mislead a topic,
It
and
wasn't
then
misleading.
when
That's
somebody
what you're.
disagree, then
That's
you
what you're
have
saying.
issues with that woman because she disagreed, or she
Man,
brings her perspective and her opinion and
I
her.
disagree with many people, and we don't have problems like this. It's just
Exactly.
Tyron, you ain't got a problem with me, buddy. You
okay.
ain't got a problem with
Did
me.
you read? Okay, I gotta ask. Did
You
you
don't have
read?
a problem with me. What you have a problem with is that I'm a strongly opinionated woman, and when I express myself in such a way that it frustrates y'all.
I know plenty of strong opinionated women, and they easily just bend over if I need them to. So that
I don't
doesn't.
always bend over, bro. That's what you need to understand. I'm not the one that bend over. The only one I bend over for is my husband.
Right. You married, but I'm talking about
Right.
the single opinionated ones. I know they easily bend over for me. It ain't no it ain't no thing. But did you? I want to know, did you actually really read the whole post? You know what I'm saying? I think some of y'all just skim over certain things and y'all read stuff that make y'all upset, and then y'all say, you know, let me just tell him something. And you ain't read the whole thing in its entirety.
Selective reader.
I'm gonna say this of you, Tyron, and I'm gonna say this of you, Mr. Dwayne. I don't always disagree. I think that when we give our perception and our perspective and our opinion, it may vary a little differently. It's always perceived as disagreeing, but I don't always disagree. I'm not just a woman that's just out here disagreeing to be disagreeing and being hard edged to be hard edged. I'll agree when there's something to be disagreed with. When I was on the show the last time, and King Dwayne gave his perspective about certain issues and what did I say? The first thing I said is I cannot disagree, so I'm not going to just disagree to disagree. But when it comes to the word, or making sure that it's rightly divided, or making sure that it is shared in a way that is understood holistically, yeah, I may have something to say, and it may differ from what your perspective and your experience is. That's it. That's all. You can like or love Nikki. Nikki is who she is. My husband loves every inch of who I am
He
as
the
a
only
woman.
one got to, baby. He the only one got to.
And
So we cool.
hey, what did I say? What did I say last time? I'm so glad I married who I married, because
Exactly.
he understands me. And I've had some very trying times, death and illness in the family, and he's the only man that can understand me, who I am as a woman, and I respect him, I appreciate him, I love him. I'll tell everybody all day long he's the one for me. But
D, you already in, D.
everybody ain't against y'all. We not the enemy all the time, brothers.
We
not saying that. We not saying that.
We read. We know what we read. That's all we can go off.
We ain't saying nothing. D, you in. You gotta check your microphone setting.
The word
You
can differ from one person to another, but unfortunately it does, sis. And that's just a reality we got to deal with.
The words shouldn't differ, but the thing is, it was we was talking about being defined. Okay. And see, the thing about you, Namia, Every time I look at your name on my Facebook page, I can tell your man, your husband, he defines you because you have the hyphen and his last name. So that's how I know she's not, you know what I'm saying? She's not Cooper, she's Miller, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that
He
was my
defines
whole
me in
point.
that we are married. I am one with him. He is my
Right.
husband. He is my head. He is the head of my household. I follow his lead. I respect my husband. He defines me in those ways. But I was a woman before I married my husband. I was a woman of strong opinion and strong perspective before I married my husband. Before I married my husband, I had God in me. Before I married my husband, I was a minister of the word of God. And to be honest, that's a whole nother topic. That's something I'll talk on. She is Namia, but
I got some questions right now though, because I got
yeah,
some,
you
I
can
want to
ask.
engage you real quick.
You can ask what you want to ask, Tyron. You know I ain't scared.
Okay, I want to engage.
But you know, though I was who I was before I married my husband. Does my husband make me better? Absolutely. Has my husband softened me in ways that I could not have imagined? Absolutely. Have I had to humble myself? Oh my word, yes, I have. Yes.
It's still some.
That's the power of a man. That's the power of a man.
Yes, I have had to humble myself in a lot of ways. So my husband is only a certain part of the definition of who I am. He's not the holistic definition of who I am.
Okay, I got you.
Well, I know with me, I'm the type, and Todd know this, and he's the same way. I'm the type of person, because God is always speaking to me, especially with this stuff. That's why I've made it my niche. And the ton of people that look at this stuff, even with church, they're just like, dude, this is your lane. But I know this. I don't need nobody to pat me. I don't do no. Just
Testing 1 2.
Yeah,
when you
you good. Just mute your
when
mic.
you are yourself, you know, you want to be empty of everything put in you. That's why Jesus lived a short, impactful life, because he was empty. And there's something about a man. You talked about all the things that your husband is. I broke this down with the church the other day. When you are becoming a man, and this is when you really even know you're ready to be married or be a father. When you have that teaching and that experience from your 20s, from your life, from everything, just like Jesus was so passionate to teach as he went to the cross, he knew it was coming. We know that our days are shorter than what what most may believe. So this teaching in us, that's the passion behind when I talk to my sons. That's the passion behind when I talk to my twin girls. And I tell Ty all the time, when you get there, you're going to understand, because they going to know a daddy that, even though he lacked his parents, thank God for my grandparents stepping in, because I needed that to be the man I am today. Because what I got gonna push y'all forward. What I got gonna make sure y'all understand the land and the government and the state and city or whatever you live in, so that you don't be bamboozled in areas like some of these other men and some of these other ladies. But one of the things, the biggest thing, is that we're not gonna go out into the world entitled, not knowing how to share, not knowing how to communicate, because we think that our opinion fits everywhere. It does not. And that's the danger of the metaverse. Because if you take that away, I tell Ty this all the time. This is where Ty be like, man, I ain't seen you in a minute. What you? That's because I'm taking a hiatus right now. Because you have to understand, when you men, we just talked about it. If two men get into it to a degree, it ain't gonna be no clapping, it ain't gonna be no ostrich netch. They gonna be banging. You see little funny stuff, like you can look at Harlem Nights, how old girl fought Eddie Murphy and he shot off that pinky toe and all that stuff. Look, you take these walls away, and especially these married women, you take these walls away, and it's like you standing in a man's face toe to toe, and that's dangerous, because an orderly man looking at that is going to say, where's your husband? Because that's all I want to talk to. Get your woman, because I'm avoiding her. I'm turning the other cheek. I'm doing all this stuff. Get your woman. Her opinion don't belong here. Get your woman. Those are the type of things I call out. That's why I talk about respect, because I know how I'm going to act. I'm not going to misrepresent my lady, and I don't want her to misrepresent me. You know, your man be all over the
Deep.
Nah, he ain't gonna have that type of thing. The same way I should get no messages about her coming to me. And that's the danger of what I talk to Ty about. When he talked to me as a brother, and I'm like, you know what? That's where you got to draw lines, because that's the danger of things. You got a husband that's cool. All that's cool, but your voice is to him. Your opinion is to him. Outside of your father and him, the world ain't gonna care about that like he does. That's why he's for Namia. It's gonna be different. But if I'm gonna sit up here and try to put my stuff on everybody, that ain't gonna work. Now there is a universal teaching, there's experiences, there's perspective. When the time is right, yes, like this, you can put all that together and have a great conversation like we're having. But when this man is over here trying to put a teaching tool out here and somebody just tried to take the rug from up under him, you've taken Ty's opportunity to do what he's doing, and he couldn't even come on your show. Y'all was ready to shut him down the minute he talked about his famous line.
Yeah, they
No,
booted,
he
they
was talking
booted me
about
out.
his. No,
They
Ty
booted
was
me
talking
out.
about his third leg.
I
We
wasn't talking about my third leg. I said,
Ty, you talk
But he
about
said
drinking
drink
water
water.
in your third
But he
leg,
said
bro.
drink water.
We couldn't have that.
that's all I'm saying. I said, I just said real
No,
men
bro,
drink
you
water.
said drink. You could come on She Is Namia all day long, Ty.
Oh, I can say the slogan: real men drink water, because
listen.
our ladies need us to be King Kong in the bed. If
Listen,
you don't drink your
Her
water,
Voice
you
podcast
can't
is not
use
the
your
platform
third
for that.
leg.
It's not the platform for that, but She Is Namia
Okay, wait,
is
stop right
a
there.
more
I'm quite
flexible
sure.
platform.
I'm quite sure the women that's on She Is Namia. I mean, not She Is Namia. What is it? Her Voice. I'm quite sure the women on Her Voice gets third leg.
That's a different platform. If I ain't gonna give you the spiel, but that's a totally different
Dwayne.
platform. I understand what you're saying,
Okay, I got
and
you.
I respect what you're saying.
Y'all
All
don't
I'm
talk
saying is
sexual on
that
there?
you cannot just automatically lump every opinion in the same basket. That's all I'm saying, bro.
Y'all don't talk sexual on there?
We know that.
Not on Her Voice. You know what the H and the R in her stand for?
Oh, HR?
Yes.
Oh, so y'all had
We
to
don't
be
talk
political.
about that kind of stuff
Y'all
on
had to be
Her.
political correct.
She Is Namia. When she launches in March, go and like
one of
and
the best
follow
ones
She
in
Is
the year.
Namia. We could talk about that all day long.
The
I'm gonna
best
have
one of the year,
I'm gonna have y'all as one of my first guests.
We need to be on that then.
Please
Yes.
do. Please do. Please do.
I promise. Here's
we're
the
gonna bring
thing.
D in.
I don't back down from differences of opinion. I don't back down from very strong. I respect men. I respect Black men. I love y'all all day long. So I would never back down from having you guys bring forth your opinion and things like that. I'm just saying, you got to know that you have to respect our opinion as well. And when it crosses the line to insults and things of that nature, it's going to be viewed in a different way. We're not here to battle each other. We're not the enemy. And that's what I've said this plenty. Black men, Black women,
some of your friends,
we are not the enemy towards
some
one
of your
another.
friends,
Huh?
Some of your friends are. I just seen some diabolical stuff written about me.
I am 45 years old. My friends are different.
Okay, I'm saying I've seen some diabolical stuff this week that was written by some of your friends. You know, I mean, I'm not the type to respond back, but you know, I'm saying stuff.
Yeah.
But go ahead, D. Turn your phone on now. Turn your mic on now. You can talk that.
Okay, am I on now?
You're on.
You on, boss.
Hey man. I was trying to get this thing to work for the professor there, but I'm listening to what the young lady's saying. Is it my old age, or is she trying to throw a little curve out there? Because I hear her talk.
What you mean?
Well, I hear her talking about how she respect. Well, I wish she would have said how she respect all men as opposed to Black men, because you know where I am on that T.
Well, you know
where I'm at.
Yeah, I'm also a Black woman. I come from a Black woman's perspective, and when I say I respect Black men, that is not a diss to any other race of men. However, I recognize the unique challenges of our Black men in particular. So that's why I say we have a media that often disrespects Black men. The media shows black men as nothing but gay men.
Wait,
Right,
whoa. You. I guess if that's the
Boys,
media you
boys.
looking at, that's cause you tuning in on that.
No,
Because
that's the media. That's the truth. It doesn't matter what I'm looking at. It is what is
gay
shown to
black
the.
men are gay.
Listen,
No,
brother.
that ain't what
I need
she
you to
said.
understand what I'm saying. I need you to
He said the
listen.
betrayal.
The black men, how black men are perceived as a
Right.
whole by
Right.
the masses, by media.
That's
It
facts.
doesn't matter what I'm tuning into,
Right.
or
Right.
or what interests me. I'm trying to tell you how black men are portrayed as a whole by the media. And media portrays our black men, they're either gay, they're effeminate. What we see on social media, we see our young black men who ain't even teenagers yet dressing in dresses, and we see all of that. So that is how, when the masses look at us, and when I say masses, I mean folks outside of black people, when they look at our black men, what do you think they see?
They see
What do you
gangbangers.
think they see in social media? What do you think is what is displayed to them the most? They're not
Well,
seeing these conversations.
of course, they're not seeing this type of conversation, but uh, well, with me being European, I just see that a little bit different because I'm European. I'm
Okay.
not I'm not I'm not like most shall I say darker pigmented. I wish I was African American Negroes.
Okay.
So I see
I
it a little
respect
bit
that.
different.
Okay. The fact that you're European, that explains a lot, and I get that. But I also come from a black woman's perspective. They got a black daddy, they got a black husband, they got black men in their family, and that's
And a
into
little white. They got a little white in their family too.
probably because I'm a little light skinned. So I know some of my masters was probably, digging into my ancestors' slave pen. So yeah, I probably
Okay.
have a little white in me somewhere.
Hey, ain't
However,
nothing wrong with that.
but
Ain't
my
nothing wrong with
experience is as a
there.
black woman.
There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with every cup of coffee having a little cream in it. Just throw a little sugar along with it. Ain't nothing wrong with it. But listen, hey man, I'm gonna have to get me a real phone so I can come on, man, and so everybody can see this European brother that sounds like he's black. Hey, but I was
He might look
listening.
like too.
Well, we give they sell enough shoe polish in the drugstore. I can look black.
No, brother, that would be blackface. You don't want to do that. You don't. Now, stay away from that.
Only thing European on him is his eyebrows. And when you see him, you know what I'm talking about.
Hey, hey, you got a great show tonight, man. I like your show. I missed the professor. I hate that, but I'm gonna come back through the show and check it out later. One thing pro black people should let me say it like this. One thing pro black people should understand is the white man come from a black man. So therefore, when I'm hating a white man, I'm hating myself. But anyway, that's something else for another Black History Month because a lot of
I don't think we hate you, brother Danger. I just think we have different experiences, and that's something that cannot be denied.
You're right.
Hey, I can assure you,
no matter how you try to shape it, make it seem we all come from a black man. In 2022, we have different experiences. Black people and white people, we have totally different experience. The black man has a different experience than the white man or other.
Especially since the black man is the first one that sold his own kind from the motherland. But that's neither here nor there. We're not going to bother that right now.
Well, you messed it up by using black. We all messed it up.
Right.
The black and white just automatically makes the war that they want. It's that's the first thing that needs to be just thrown in the trash.
Okay, well, I'm trying to get me a scholarship to go to the Marcus Garvey Academy.
FGMD.
That one right there.
FDMG. That's it. FDMG.
Yeah, as I would say in my language, that's called pimping the darker pigmented people. But hey, man, you got a great show. Miss Nikki, you very opinionated, and I like opinionated women. Tell your husband, don't shoot the TV. I'm just saying that, because I
My
already got
husband
mine.
is freaking
Nikki,
My
Nikki,
husband
she
was
on here fronting. She on there fronting.
no. Y'all would probably like my husband if y'all met my husband in person. My husband's
I'm
a
sure
cool,
we would.
cool
That's why we
dude.
asked about it.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
He's a
That's what
cool
I'm saying.
dude.
Well, I'm going to have to say that I would think he'd be a okay guy, but I ain't going to say that I would love him because I love women.
Oh, okay. then no.
I'm just saying, Nikki on her front because she knows she be stirring the pot sometimes.
No,
She
I
does. She don't
don't.
want to
I
admit. That's
offer
what she don't want to
difference.
admit. She
I
want to play
offer
the good girl.
difference of opinions. Ty, ain't that what your platform is about? You put the topics out there. Do you want everybody to agree with you?
Yes, that's the law.
That's not the point.
Oh, okay.
I ain't
Well,
tripping about
with
people
she
not
is
agreeing.
Namia, everybody don't have to agree with me.
Right?
So
Everybody ain't got to agree on this
everybody
platform.
ain't gonna
But
have to agree to me.
I know some things that Namia have said on my page, and I'm like, ooh, fiery.
Yeah,
Ooh.
because Namia's fiery. She's opinionated.
Yeah.
All those things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Namia. My husband know all that.
And on she is Namia.
Yeah,
We gonna
y'all
talk
want my
today.
husband number so y'all can call and ask him about the Namia?
No, we don't.
Okay.
No, that's all right. Keep that to yourself. That's all right. We don't need that.
Okay.
Listen, brothers. At the end of the day, all jokes aside, Ty, Dwayne, brother Dwayne.
I know that's hard.
I respect y'all. I am not one of those women who believes in all men ain't ish and all men ain't this and all. I'm not one of those women. So sometimes y'all gonna get me to disagree. Y'all can't be offended by that. Y'all can't be afraid of that.
Oh, now there she goes. She
No,
took
that's
our
what I'm saying.
manhood
No,
See,
away.
y'all gotta be open
no,
to that.
you talking good, but every time
You
you
see,
talk about
you see,
somebody afraid or offended, I don't
No,
get
she done
because
took
afraid.
y'all do be
she took the
offended.
manhood
Y'all
away.
do be offended. Y'all be offended as shit.
Okay,
Look. See, she done took the
please give me
manhood
proof.
away.
Please give me proof that
I
I'm
ain't took
offended.
no manhood away. Don't
And,
don't
and,
don't
and,
don't
and,
Because
don't
I'm
and,
hearing
misrep
what
y'all,
she
and
said.
y'all
But
be
don't
then she talking
afraid.
about some
misrepresent my
don't be
words. I have not
offended. You
took
can't be afraid.
anybody's manhood away. I would not
Yes,
do
you
that.
did. You said when you said afraid, men are not afraid.
No, we ain't afraid of no opinion. We
Okay,
change opinions.
so
We change
you
opinions.
okay, here's this then. Sometimes be open to that and not always be combative towards our opinion. We
Okay,
come
let
with
me ask you
different
about your husband. I
experiences.
want to ask you. Okay.
So I'm going to admit I no longer come from a single woman's experience. I don't identify with single women that can't find a good man, that all men ain't this, all men ain't that, and they single and they don't want a man and they by themselves and it's good for I don't identify with that woman no more.
No more.
That's not me anymore. I
Mm.
identify with another kind of woman, a married woman. I ain't been married long. I've said that on my live that I don't come from a perspective of a woman that's been married 20, 25 years. So I can't bring you that type of expertise. What I'm saying is when you talk about women, you got to be open to all perspectives of
So
women.
when your husband is making the decisions in the household, do he always come and consult you, or do you get upset when he don't consult
he
you?
doesn't. I can no, he ain't always come and consult me. No, he hasn't. But you know what
Oh,
I had.
okay. Well, then he's a man.
But what you
Right.
know what I had to do, even if I was because I ain't been married long, y'all. I'm honest. This is the thing that y'all don't know about Nikki Namia. I'm honest. I'm open. I'm real. Have I had to adjust to the fact that my husband ain't always consulted me? Absolutely, yes.
So you telling me sometimes you be a little salty when your husband ain't consulted you about a decision that he made.
I will say in the past, I have been salty, but I had to learn how to navigate when my husband makes a decision that has not included me.
You know, I like the way she said that. I like the way she said that.
Navigate.
Yeah,
I like the way she
have, because
said
it's the truth. I've had to, coming from a woman that's been single, I ain't got no kids. I was single for a long time. I've done my own thing. I've made my own decisions. When you get married and then you marry into a real man,
Yeah, Mo, you got to be focused.
you
Concentrate.
got to learn. You got to learn. And that's just real. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna come to y'all fake and phony. You have to learn how to navigate a real man and real man decisions, and the fact that he ain't gonna come and tell you everything. He ain't gonna give you the final say on everything. You have to learn how to navigate that if you want your marriage to work. If you respect that man, if you know you got a good man, if you know that you don't want to do anything to defy that man. Yeah, you got to learn that. Yeah.
Thing is, Namia, she really agree with everything we saying, but she just don't want us to really know that she agrees. So
no, some stuff I be disagreeing with.
She gotta play with us. You know what I mean? She gotta play.
I don't agree with everything. I didn't agree with John 4. I didn't.
The thing is, see, this is the thing about John 4. It was a lot of stuff going on in John 4.
It is.
She didn't like the fact that
I'm writing a book. I pulled out.
John 4. Like the fact that I just pulled out a certain little part to be able to convey a message. That's what I did. I pulled out a part to be able to show, compare and contrast, ladies. This is what you're doing, and this is what you need to do. That's what I did, but she didn't like that. Go ahead.
I'm writing a book on John 4. I'm living and breathing.
Oh,
John
you
4
you really into that John 4? Okay.
I'm living and breathing John 4 at the moment.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Well, I like the way she used that terminology that she had to learn. In other words, she was saying that he had to cultivate her into another understanding that she was going down the wrong road.
He had to cultivate her mind.
God had to
reshape some things.
God had to show me different, that if I wanted my marriage to work, if I wanted to carry out my marriage in a way that honors him, if I wanted to carry out my marriage in a way that honors my husband, that I'm going to have to change my thinking a little bit, or learn to navigate my independence a little different. I can't be as independent as I once was.
So in other words,
the same as a man. I'm gonna just throw that out there for you. I know she's gonna like it. Same as a man. He gotta know when to, it's been 3-4 days. I ain't been at home. I ain't seen my wife. Let me go check in with my wife.
Oh no, my husband wouldn't do that. My husband wouldn't be gone for 3-4 days. we don't do that.
Oh, see, look at that. Why you can't be gone for 3-4 days?
No, we don't play them games.
Because it's a sin to ask your husband where he been. You can't ask your husband.
What? Hell no. If my husband gone for 3-4 days, I'm gonna be asking where he been, because I'm not going to go away from my home for 3-4 days.
Did you see how she flipped that?
Yeah,
Did you see how she flipped that?
I see how she flipped that pancake.
She said that her husband is not worried about her, and then she come right back and flip that pancake over and say, "Well, I got to ask him."
No, what I said is my husband is not worried about the fact that I'm opinionated, that I'm a strongly opinionated woman. He knows I got a podcast. He knows about the topics that I talk about. He knows all of those things. So my husband is not worried about that part of me, because he trusts me. We have a very trusting relationship. But if I be gone for 3-4 days, you think my husband ain't gonna be surfacing Northwest Indiana to figure out where I'm at?
You can't be gone for 3-4 days.
No,
you're not allowed.
No. My husband knows every move I make.
I'm saying you.
Oh Lord,
the wife is not allowed to be gone 3-4 days.
He's not allowed to be gone for 3-4 days.
See.
So who's wearing the GPS?
It don't matter who wearing the GPS. We're married. We're one. Ain't now one of us gonna be going out this house for 3-4 days, and either one don't know where the one is at. My husband knows every move I make.
Y'all remember Harlem Nights when old boy he was with Sunshine, and
Yeah,
then
he said I ain't coming home no more.
tell your mama I ain't coming back no more. Click.
Like, yeah,
Right.
tell the kids I ain't coming. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. No, that's not our situation.
Sunshine, straight played his behind too.
Right.
Oh man. All right, we're gonna wrap this thing up, y'all. This was good. This was good. Hey, we're gonna still give out some smoke though next week. We're gonna still give out
Okay.
some smoke.
Okay.
All right, final thoughts. Final thoughts. Go ahead, Miss Namia.
You know what?
Yeah, I know. She been capping all night. So go ahead, keep capping.
No, I've been capping all night. Let me find something else to cap about. Okay. No. In all seriousness, no. I just think we just have we come from different perspectives because our makeup is different, our purpose is different, our roles are different, and so that's just a thing that we have to keep in mind when we're giving our opinions and perspective, and that's it. That's all. That's
All right,
it.
okay.
I ain't gonna say that you ain't got some opposition, Ty. I ain't gonna say that there's some folks that ain't out to to say what they got to say about you. But I just think you learn to discern the ones who are and the ones who are not. I'm going to always have a varied opinion. I'm going to always give my perspective as a woman. And if there's a topic that pertains to married women, like submission, that I can talk on, I'm going to speak it. It may not jive with what y'all feel and what y'all say. It may not jive with y'all experiences as a man. It may not jive with your opinion. But it's I do represent a segment of women out there. And I know probably the vast majority of your population is probably single, young women. I'm 45. I ain't getting ready. Me and my husband ain't getting ready to have no more kids. All we want to do is travel and live life and have fun and all that. So that's going to be the perspective that I come from. So sometimes the perspective you're going to get is women who don't have a man. They either claim they don't want a man, they ain't looking for a man, or they've had bad experiences with men that they have not yet to heal from or overcome.
I got divorced women putting my name in their mouth. So it's a little wide variety. It's a wide variety. So hey,
yeah, I'm in a different branch. I'm in a different bucket. I'm happy.
Okay,
I'm happy in marriage.
I'm gonna say this though. This the thing. This the thing. I think the disconnect that we have when it comes down to disagreement over opinions and she's saying being afraid is that thing is we can disagree all day, but what changes the disagreement for me is when it go from disagreeing to now she didn't took a low blow. She didn't call me out my name, so now I'm gonna return that energy. Like let's take for example your friend Gigi. I wrote a post today. I said, minus your degree and your job, what do you bring to the table? Gigi, you can go back and look. You can go there. Look, Gigi was the first one that answered, and she said, "Well, compared to you, common sense." And so I kind of had to, roast her a little bit. She kind of got it, but she said, "Compared to me, common sense." I'm like, cool, got you. Here you go.
You know what I think we should do?
What?
We need a men are from Mars, women are from Venus type of collaboration.
You see how she scapegoated around that, Dwayne?
No. I didn't scapegoat from Gigi. I can't answer for Gigi. That's her.
You know Gigi though. You do know Gigi.
We all been knowing Gigi. We've been knowing each other for a long time. We've been stepping together. We've been in groups together. We've been around each other for a long time.
Yeah, so. Gigi was good friends. We was real good friends. But she just been tripping these past couple years. But she gonna be all right though. She gonna be all right. We're gonna get it together.
I'll say this. Sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
We got 3 people watching. I bet one of them is a woman. So to the people that's watching, if you are a woman, I want you to put in this chat right now. I'm gonna ask the question. I'm gonna say this question. Let me know if you're offended. Minus degrees and jobs. What do you bring to the table? Tell me if that offended you. Just put it in the chat right now.
Mine is degrees and jobs.
Just say what you bring. That's simple.
Yeah.
I mean, did that really offend you, Namia?
No, that doesn't offend me because my
Oh,
husband,
okay.
my husband didn't give a care about my degrees and jobs when we got together.
I'm saying the question. Did me asking that question, did that
Oh
offend you?
that doesn't particularly
Okay.
offend me.
You know what, Ty? I was talking to somebody about your post earlier. You know, I was sharing with somebody, and I just found myself speechless for a second. I said, a lot of ladies out here are really lazy communicators, very lazy communicators. And when you are a man that actually wants to communicate, like earlier, Namia was making, had a thought, and she said a couple of words, and then blah blah blah. Now a real man want to talk. He don't want that blah blah blah. And so when you see a lot of these people reacting to the post like they act, it's just lazy, because there's so many other things that could have came out of that other than the offense. Somebody that's married and everything, just automatically to an offense. Oh, you need common sense. Come on, man. Come on now. That's so lazy.
Yeah.
It's so lazy, because we can be asked what we bring to the table all day long, and they up in the bed. That's why I joke about it all the time. You up in the bed, snuggled up, but I'm at work at 2 a.m. in the cold. Like, what do you mean? What do I bring? I'm bringing my life.
Because I ain't getting ready to be up at the bed.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna be in the bed when you get home.
Facts.
That's
why we call it out. It's like, come on now.
Yeah.
Come on.
No.
You know?
No.
So we just got to be better communicators, man. I mean, I'm glad.
Straight up.
I'm glad that Namia came on. At the end of the day, I mean, we have our bouts, and I know it's opinion. I have no personal issue with, there's some things where it's just like, and I know it may seem like I'm offending her, because I think everything outside of personal be cool, but I know when I speak, maybe that's different, but I call it out. I want to see a woman respect their husband, because I'm not going to really go back and forth too much. I know you married for a fact. Oh, no, I'm not doing too much with that. So I'm going to ask where he at, what's going on, because it's going to be the same if we was up close and personal, and you was all a 4'11", 5'2" up in my face, looking up at me.
Oh, I wouldn't do that to you.
I'm be looking down at you like, where your man? And I ain't about to go to this.
Like, yeah, why you all in my face?
No,
right.
I wouldn't do that. No.
So that's just the vision I get. I mean, I'm different like that. I see. That's what I see when women try to attack men. And I tell Ty all the time, that's a safe space for them to feel like, oh, I'm bringing my voice, a la, go at this man because I'm gonna get him together. You can never get nobody together that know who they are. You're not getting nobody together. Come on, stop that. You gonna threaten me with your mouth? You gonna make me laugh at you? Come on now. and this is the type of stuff that it's childish. I mean, and it's just lack of communication, man. We got to do better with this.
Lack of communication. You hit the nail on the head. Lack of communication. Yeah. And we communicate differently.
Facts.
Yeah, we do. Did you got something?
Well, I'm just gonna say this, man. That was a pretty nice program you had tonight.
Appreciate it.
Enjoyed the young lady with her opinion, her strong opinion, I guess. Hey, but when you get a chance, man, bring the professor back, man. I like to jaw with him a little bit. Miss Nikki, please tune in, lady.
I support Ty.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
you subscribe to the YouTube channel?
I'm gonna do that.
Now, see there.
That's what I'm saying. I need you to subscribe. I need subscribers.
I'm gonna do that.
Hey, I'm telling you, T, man, you really got a nice little thing going here. Dwayne, you're my man. You're my man, Dwayne.
Drink a Pepsi.
Hey, man, I already got it sitting over here in the ice. Hey, you got a nice show, man, and I like the way you're bringing these people on. You got the professor there, and you got all these guys lining up at the door trying to get on your podcast. And I like to throw this out there one time if you get a chance, T. That's why the darker pigmented people get upset when I say I'm European, but I sound like I'm black.
And you know what? This Black History Month. So next Thursday, I'm gonna let you come on and explain that because yeah, I'm just going to hint at it now. Like a lot of thing is I know Namia know this because Namia she knows history. A lot of black people, for real, there's lots of black people well, really the Moors, they migrated to Europe. They was here in Europe well before we was even thought about. So therefore, when you start getting people coming to America, you had blacks from Europe, you had blacks from Asia, blacks from Africa, was all here in America. So that's why when they doing that lineage thing and checking people's ancestry. We from all over this world. That's the point about being black. We are from all over this world. So yeah, I know when he first started saying it, I used to laugh a lot, but I understood right off the top. I was like, oh, I know where he getting at.
Well, I don't want them to think I'm one of them darker pigmented peoples, because I am what they consider high yellow. Hey, love you guys, man.
I ain't
Keep the
seen
show
nothing.
going, man.
I don't see nothing high yellow on this.
Fact. Oh, man. Oh.
Hey, y'all, take it easy. I'll catch up with you next week, T.
All right, everybody. We appreciate it. I'm gonna go on and wrap this thing up. Appreciate everybody. Appreciate everybody. I gotta do the I gotta do my shout. I gotta do my air horn. Yeah, we gotta salute them, salute them, salute them, salute them, salute them. Keep them going, keep them going, keep them going, keep them going. Man, shout out to Professor David Walton. Shout out to King Dwayne. Shout out to Miss Namia. Her voice. Her voice podcast. Shout out to her. Please go subscribe. Go subscribe. Shout out to my boy D, man. Shout out to the chat room, my co-workers Ebony and my co-worker Yvonne, my cuz LaShonda, everybody community contributing to the conversation. Shout out to everybody, and we appreciate your generosity and your support. If you are feeling generous at any point, please feel free, hit that cash out right down below. Hit the cash out. If you want to give $1 or $2 or a few, I greatly appreciate it. Hey, until then, I don't really have too much announcements. Hope to be hearing from the pastor Antoine. I ain't forget. Hold on, Dwayne. I gotta bring him.
What up?
I ain't forgot about Pastor Antoine. You mighty quiet. I'm gonna check in with him tomorrow. Like, Pastor, you still there? I'm telling you, like, hey, we got to touch a degree. I ain't heard from him. I should have heard something about yesterday.
Man, I'm shocked that nobody came up to the offer, man. So you've been making this offer for weeks now, man.
Past couple of weeks. Let me put it back up here. What my banner at? I mean, what that let me see. Hey, this the offer. One man, one woman. One man, one woman that is not a part of the show. You can't be a co-host or a commentator, none of that. But you are a supporter of the show. And you say, all right, we like to go on a date. That's cool. What happened is we're gonna have to do a show first. And then after you do your show, I'm gonna send the cash out. After that, I need you to come back and do a show so we can discuss how things went. And we might get a little bit, in depth. Okay, we might get in depth with the questions, but I mean that's part of the process. That's part of the process because we all about fostering healthy, like someone tried to call me out today, said I don't foster healthy discussion, but we want to foster healthy relationships. And so we gotta, we gotta start it off just right so we can know if everybody is like Jesus on the day of Pentecost on one accord. All right, okay. So anything else you got on that, Dwayne?
Man, I want to see people have success, man, and they don't necessarily need no holiday to do it, but
right.
It's just like I was gonna say earlier, man. It just show you the older you get and you really dissect these things, you learn who was the people who probably didn't know how to share as kids, because sharing with your siblings prepares you for sharing outside,
right?
And is supposed to be the introduction into how to communicate. And a lot of people just are wanting to be entitled and get their way, and I can just move however I want to. And that's the downfall of society, man. And so they use this internet to be whoever they want to be, a cult of personality. And it's all right for them to do that, but let you say something on point. Oh, that Lord, I'm tired of him. God dog it. He strikes again. Oh my God. They ready to come for you, boy.
Ready to come.
So
Upset, man.
just be vigilant. Man. Be vigilant, man. I love it, man. I love
Yes,
to see
sir.
you
Yes,
be you
sir.
in the Lord's house. That you already know how I feel.
Appreciate it, bro.
Be you, man. Be you always.
Yes, sir. Man, oh man. Shout out, yeah, shout out to everybody. Let me hit them up one more time. Let me hit them up one more time. Shout out. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody. But man, yeah, this was good tonight, man. The professor came on and talked to us tonight, and then Miss Namia met us to talk to us. But the thing is, though, she emphasized a lot about being afraid and being offended. No one's afraid of I'm not now. This might sound a little sexist, but as a man, I've never been afraid of a woman talking to me, a woman giving me her opinion. None of that. Never been afraid of any of that. Never been offended. Thing is, though, I pick up on energy. I pick up on, what I'm saying? I can sit in a room. I've done this many times. Just let me get quiet, sit in the room. I can study everybody in that room, and I can tell you some things about them. Don't even know them, and sometimes really close to really close to being 100%. So I could just sit and watch you and you can just tell so no one's offended, no one's afraid. It's just I pick up on that energy and I'm like, what's your game plan? You know what I'm saying? What is your game plan? Why would you say that instead of this? And so therefore that's why we talked about the woman that was at the well. Because that woman that was at the well, come on, Jesus said that the man that you with, he's not even your husband. Come on now. What is that saying? This type of woman, she was that type of woman that was hopping around. She was hopping around. But Jesus, he told her, he said, well, this water right here, what I'm gonna give you, is gonna be that everlasting and eternal. You ain't gonna thirst no more. Come on, Jesus was using the words that we use right now. Thirsty. Ain't that what a lot of people say? Oh man, he was thirsty. He thirsty, or she thirsty. Well, this right here, Jesus said that I give you. You're not gonna thirst no more. Ain't that wonderful? Come on, ladies, ain't that wonderful to have a man come into your life, whereas you ain't gonna never desire another type of man ever, because this man right here that God has designed for you fills you up 100%. All right, I know. We passed the time. It's almost 3 hours. We almost been on here 3 hours. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you all for tuning in, and we appreciate your generosity and support. And with that being said, hold on, let me play this video. Okay, it's time to play the video. All right, we out. We'll see you next week, 7 days. Peace. Oh, somebody, hold on. Did somebody say something? Right. Yes, sir. Hold on. Let me see. What are you talking about? What you talking about, Dwayne?
Oh, I was just gonna say you eloquently put it together, man.
Oh, yeah, that was one of the points of the encounter. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. To let her know, like, I remember when I first talked to you about it, I said, think about how many times a woman, and you seen it on your post, come with that no hope out of their mouth. Just come with that no hope. Well, that's why you're letting us know why you lose. That if you're speaking no hope, then I can assess and ascertain that you probably ain't being successful out here with these guys. So yeah, you're gonna speak damage. You're gonna reflect that you don't these no good, these no good, and there's so many much more than them no good dudes. So by the time she made this encounter with the Most High, that set it all in motion, because the scripture says she had to run and tell others
that she found a man.
So this is the thing. And this is why I love what Namia said earlier. Yes, we know it obviously wasn't gonna go to, that was the one man it wasn't gonna go sexual with. but she still went and boasted on him. You know what? That Lord Ty, he a good brother. He out here doing a good thing. We can't boast and praise on each other, because that don't just apply to the woman, that applies to the man too. How we all move it. Where we are in this world today, right now, is how the woman at the well was moving in her life. We got too many affairs, man, and we don't even understand how deep that scripture and that chapter runs. Man, it applies, man. It's prophetic to today. Issues that were going on today, the Most High was there back then, and now we got technology in the present. That's all it is. Different.
He said thirst. You ain't gonna thirst on. He using one of our
That.
words. Quit being thirsty.
And you remember that scripture when they talked about man, it's better to be in the corner of the rooftop than to be in the house with a brother woman. That let me know right there.
That's certainly present today. I mean, I'm gonna go buy me. I'm gonna go buy me a ladder just for that scripture. I'm gonna put that scripture on the ladder. Like, this is my rooftop ladder. Hey, look, this is my rooftop ladder. Let me go.
Hey, that's probably why them at the balconies on their roof. You just go to the roof.
Yeah, let me go up there, because she ain't gonna be able to get up there with me. She ain't coming up there with me. Let me take the ladder too, so she can't climb up after I get up here.
Right, exactly. But man, keep doing your thing, man.
Appreciate
Beautiful conversations, man. Keep doing it, man.
Appreciate it, bro.
Let me get this workout in, man.
All right, man, go and do your thing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that completes our show. We'll see you 7 days. Peace. I might drop another video before then. Peace. Be blessed.
This is my season for grace and favor. Michael, them chords gonna make somebody run around this church. Don't play them chords. Them chords gonna make somebody lose their mind. This is my season of grace and favor.
This is my season to reap what I have sown.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Tyron Joe here, and I am excited to be here, and I want to be the first to welcome you to 2022 calendar year, and also Black History Month 2022. I just want to make a few quick announcements to be out of your way. One of our things for this year is be a friend and not a twin. We must seek to stop the matching of energies and to understand why things happen. Also, this year, what we're doing is having conversations with the clergy. You're not going to want to miss that. Many of you have expressed your concerns with the way the church, the modern day church, is being ran, and not just where it's being ran, but just understanding salvation. So therefore, I went on ahead and said what we're going to do is go ahead and have some clergymen, have preachers and pastors that may be able to offer any type of help to talk to us and to walk us through some of these things. So look for that throughout the whole year 2022. At any given moment, we'll have a preacher come on and interview with us. Also, February 14th this year, got a little something special for you. One woman, one man that's not a panelist, that's not a commentator of the show, but just maybe an individual that supports the show, individual that watched the show. We would like for you to hit our inbox here at on Instagram at BZNZ Talk, and let us know that you would like to go on a date. And what we're going to do, we're going to have you come onto the show, interview with us. Also, we're going to have you go out on a date, because we want you to come on the show to see if you're compatible, and then have you go out on a date and then come back and interview with us again, and switch it up a little bit. I said at first I was going to pay for the date, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to contribute a nice amount to the date. That's what I'll do. So hopefully someone will take me up on that offer. Also, merch. Get you some merch. Just Just tell me your size and what color t-shirt you want, and we will get that to you. Just hit up my Instagram inbox, and we will take care of you. Leave you with this, and that is to do not reason with the season, but accept it and live in it. Peace, be blessed. Peace, be blessed.
They're not ready. They're not ready. They're not ready. I see you, Brian. You might as well come on down here and join the party. To